So, who is this? Calamity.
Hello.
Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Using science, how
So,
do you feel about the prompt?
are you saying that for like interaction bait, or do you genuinely believe that?
No, I generally understand the base premise of evolution and how haploids turn into diploid cells, and I know that it's not true.
Okay, you're retarded.
Like, it's really just lame. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you really are a grown ass man and you came up here to do that. So, anyways, gene expression, we know we not the same because my people don't do shit like that. What the fuck? Nigga just wanted me to know if I knew what I was talking about or not, and if I did, that's the only thing he could think of. Underdeveloped frontal lobe. You see what I'm saying? Underdeveloped frontal lobe. All right. So the thing is that evolution is the biggest lie ever told. These people don't come from us, and we don't come from them. We're not the same fucking species, and we shouldn't be procreating with these people. We shouldn't be living with these people, and we should only be pouring into ourselves. And I'm using evolution to actually explain that because, again, our people think that we're the same as them. We think that we have the same genetics as these people, that we're all Homo sapiens. You see what I'm saying? But you have to look at what the theory is saying closely. That's why it's being debunked every single day, right? Just because your schools is teaching it doesn't mean that the top scientists in the world aren't debunking it, right? School comes from the word skole, which means to hold back. I ended the last live. It was dumb. Nobody knew what they were talking about. You see what I'm saying? So if you disagree with what's on the screen, feel free to request up. If you agree what's on the screen, feel free to request up. All right. Somebody said, I want to know your facts. I want to know how you feel about the prompt. Because if you're so-called black, I want to hear how you think you got on the planet. That's what I want to hear. If you're not so-called black, I want to hear how you got on the planet. If you're white, if you're Asian, if you're anybody that is not black, I want to hear how you think you got on the planet. You see what I'm saying? Right, that's the reason why I ended it. You see what I'm saying? But this one right here, I'll walk anybody down with this one. So come tell me what the proof is, Bobo. Tell me what the proof is, and let's look at it closely. All right. So who is this? Pix, evolution, the
I'm
biggest
Pick.
lie ever told. How do you feel about the prompt using science?
I think it's the biggest lie. Is that what you're asking?
What does the prompt say?
Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Yes, I believe that.
And why do you
I'm a
believe
white
it?
man. Huh?
Why do you believe it? Why do you believe
Oh,
the prompt?
well, biblically, God created a man and a woman, not an animal. I mean, it says that He created them, man and woman. You know,
So you
talks
believe
about
in
He created
religion,
all
or
the
I'm
animals.
kind of confused.
What did you say? Do I believe in the what?
Do you believe in religion, or what is your point of view here?
Yeah, I believe that what the Bible says.
Okay, so when you first came up here, I said to you, evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Using science, how do you feel about the prompt? So if you have religion, you're not going to be able to have this conversation with me.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but you don't believe in evolution, right? I just make that clear.
Right. I don't believe in
No?
evolution. And I don't
Oh,
believe in
that's
religion
awesome.
either.
Well, go get them, sister. Go get them.
How do you
I
think
hope you
you
get.
so you believe in religion as if like you come from Adam and Eve?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So how could we have all come from Adam and Eve if Adam and Eve had children? If they were the only people on the planet, you're saying that children had sex with each other to produce everybody that's on the planet?
Yeah, at the beginning it was like that for a time, and I mean you got to speed up to Noah actually, because Noah is like the progenitor, or the guy, him and his sons and their children. So, but yeah, in the very beginning, yeah, it did take place in that manner. Yeah, they had
No, if we
many
all come
children.
from, if we're all Adam and Eve's children, then that means that incest will still be happening. So it never stopped, right?
No, no, it did
No, yeah,
stop.
it wouldn't have stopped. So you're saying that in the beginning it was okay, but now it's not. So that means that what? You're committing a sin?
No, 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 no. It did stop. It did, because it was then later on. God said it's not right to do that. Because the first individuals that were here on Earth, they were kind of like of a better genome than we are now. Their genome was superior to ours, and ours has been corrupted. There's been mutations and all kinds of diseases and all kinds of other corruptions that have entered into our genes and stuff like that. So yeah, it wouldn't be good to be doing any of that anymore.
So he allowed it at one point, but it's a sin now. So are the people that didn't get the memo, like, are they going to hell or something? Or I don't understand, like, how can something be a sin at one point and then not be a sin later?
Yeah, it is a sin now. Okay, it is not recommended that you procreate that way anymore because of the how close it is with the bloodline. Because you take the chance of the offspring being physically handicapped. Okay, so. But in the beginning it was okay. It was kind of a different kind of a scene. The atmosphere was a kind of different and everything like that. But yeah, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, cut and dry, written down in there. You just got to look at it.
So you think that incest is good and that it's okay, and you believe that everybody on the planet, even though we don't share genetics or biology and we never have, and there's 2 cellular form types for all life forms on the planet, you still believe that we all came from Adam and Eve, and that they did incest and their children had sex with each other and kept having sex with each other all the way up until Adam had that child at 130 years old. And then they kept going into who you are today. And then me, I got here too. And then everybody else. So if we're all a byproduct of incest, that means that we've already sinned according to your thing, right? That means that we've been using incest the whole time to get to this point, because incest is our origin. So I got you with that. I think you need to sit down with your religion and actually take a real good look in the mirror, because that's wild that you just okayed that shit. And then your whole Christian faith is wild as fuck. There's beyond incest is grape. There's grape mentioning in the Bible. The Bible actually okays slavery. And basically, so-called God gave permission to YT people to enslave us because we disobeyed him. But turns out that y'all's genetics and biology it doesn't align with this planet. So I'm interested how you think you came from God, because God is supposed to create the natural world and the cosmos and the planets, right? But you don't share genetics and biology to his planet. I'm also interested in how you think that, like, how you really believe that Eve came from Adam's rib. Wouldn't that mean that he would be unalived? Like, for us to get his rib from out of his body to create Eve, wouldn't he have like unalived out, and Eve would only be left? Yeah, because this is what your faith is saying, and then there's a lot of things that can't be explained, and I'm just putting it all out in front of you.
He put a deep sleep over Adam, and then took his rib, and then Adam said, "This is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh," and he called her Eve, the mother of all living. So, and the Bible also says, "From one blood came all life," and as concerning like the white What did you say? The white people? We came from somewhere else or something?
All of
No,
y'all,
no,
everybody
we are
outside
very
of us
no.
came from is not genetically or biologically connected to this planet.
No, white people are very indigenous to this planet. We go
Explain it
way,
using
way back.
genetics, please.
Adam was a white man.
Really?
Yeah, Adam, the name Adam refers to a man who
Why are we
blushes.
acting like the Bible is fucking?
Stop over talking, please. Let him get it out.
Yeah, the Bible, his name itself indicates he was a white man, that he was red, he would blush and red in his face. And it's always, whenever it suggests that, it's suggesting they used to, what we say white man today, that's what they called white people, was red people. And but we know Noah. We have a description of Noah as a white man with blue eyes, and it goes on and on. And David is even recognized as a white man, and but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I mean, from one blood came all the people of the earth, and white people are very indigenous to this earth. I mean, I know a lot of people like to promote that, but it is true. I mean, we can adapt in any kind of climate, any kind of environment. We can adapt even over the seas and everything else. We explore everything. We're in every issue, every part of exploration. Anything you ever seen, anything done in this earth, it's usually going to be a
Sir,
white guy.
okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off because you're monologuing. I asked you, what is your
Oh,
genetic and your biological connection to this planet, and you haven't given it to me. So
oh yeah.
thank you for that. I'm gonna move on to the next guest because somebody else wants to speak. So Remy, you were up here first. Go ahead. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Using science. Please don't talk about religion in here. Using science. How do you feel about the prompt? Using science, please.
Like it is the biggest lie because right now, if it's coming from monkeys, it would seem like a monkey would eventually start walking upright or start talking eventually with some kind of genetics. I would think they would, but all this time, or one of us can, like how pigs do, turn back into boars. Like if you let a domesticated pig out into the wild, they eventually start turning back into like dead boars and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be evolution. So I would think that, or people who probably live off the grid, or the people that's in them different little islands and stuff, would be killing people with the arrows and stuff, telling them to come to the country. I would think they would revert back to apes or something, or somebody over here would.
The thing is that you're talking about a domesticated pig. Domesticated organisms have introgress genetics, so they would not change into something else unless it was for genetic engineering because that's their origin. So when you're saying that they turn into a boar, what about their genetics change? Because most people are talking about the phenotype. You're saying that they're growing horns, but if they have introgress genes, then that could just be an expression of allelic of an excess amounts of allelic genes. That doesn't mean that evolution is taking place. So I got your consensus and I know where you're coming from, but I think maybe the analogies, you know what I'm saying, might be a little bit convoluted. So I'm gonna move to the next guest, but you can stay up here and then when we get done, you can get back in the conversation. I think it was Krauboski, Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How you feel about the prompt using science?
Hey, what's up? I think it's a lie. You believe in Darwin's evolution? Well,
No.
thank God, because Darwin only came up with that because he was trying to find the link between apes and humans, and he decided in his mind that it was black people. So he thought black people were the missing link. He thought that you turn from ape to a black person, and then when you turn into a person, you turn white. Did you know that? You can look that shit up.
I know what Darwinism is, and I know that it was debunked 75 years prior to him rolling out Darwinism. But how do you feel about the prompt? If you don't believe in Darwinism, then how did you get on the planet?
By God.
See, I'm not finna. I keep telling y'all stop coming up here with religion. Okay, please. It's a scientific discussion. If you want to go to a live where they're discussing religion, then do that. But that's not what this live is about. At the bottom, I can't see your name. Try to refrain from requesting up in the bottom box, y'all, because I can't see it. So whoever's in the bottom box, go ahead.
My apologies. It's Corvette. I just go by Corvette. I do feel like evolution is the biggest lie ever told. It's not even just a feeling. There's many factual data that support that. And just to cut it short, because I could go on for days, we can even just everybody should take feelings aside and just look at what is presented to us. A Black woman can birth different phenotype colors, but white people cannot birth Black people. So why ever would you think Adam was a white man and Eve was a white woman that created all of life? That doesn't even make sense. But I land my plane there, and thank you for the discussion.
Yes, gratitude for sharing that, my sister. We can also use common sense even with phenotype is common, right? That's a scientific word, but it's common sense, right? Because it's what we see. It's the physical characteristics that we see expressed. So again, she's right. How come we never seen the type of evolution where an Asian woman will create a so-called Black woman? Right? And she's right. And she worded her words very carefully. And she said that a so-called Black woman can create different shades. Notice she didn't say different races, right? Different shades. There's 48 different shades that our women can create, but we will never create y'all. We will never be able to produce in vitro pheomelanin or in vitro eumelanin or in vitro neuromelanin because it's not within our DNA to do so. Right? Y'all can't, if we're all the same, you would be able to create me. Right? So-called Mexican women will be giving birth to Asian children right now if evolution was true. We will be able to explain how all life forms on the planet are connected through one single embryological origin, but that's never been proven by any scientists on the planet. So what we're seeing here is that in theory, we do see prokaryotes and eukaryotes, or biogenetic organisms and introgress organisms, but the connection between the two is not proven in evolution. So gratitude for sharing that, my sister. Let me get to, I think it was, I'm him. Go ahead. Using science, please. Go ahead and tell me how you feel about the prompt. You're on mute. I am him.
Hello?
I am him. You're on mute. Did you mean to request up?
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boom. Peace, goddess. Well, boom, we are the gods and the goddesses of the realm, man. You gotta understand that that white people, the Caucasian, they are from the Caucasus Mountains. Gotta understand that they were excuse me, I'm out of breath, I've just been running. But they've been forming the petri dish, you know what I'm saying, from Yakub a long time ago. They ain't nothing but an experiment. They ain't trying to come off like that. But it's just the truth. You understand? They ain't nothing but one time serious. They one serious smarter than a chimpanzee. You feel what I'm talking about? We are the non-ether beings. I'm all out of breath and shit. I just been running. But yeah, I just wanted to say my piece real quick.
I got you with that. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you're right. These people's origin only would lead back to a petri dish because all life forms either come through biogenesis or some sort of spontaneous generation. And that spontaneous generation could only be genetic engineering, right? When we look at the origin of the eukaryotic cell, that spans back 600,000 years. These people have been on the planet for about 6,000 to 7,000 years, but the origin of the cell for introgression to take place, it's about over 500,000 years ago. All right, just under 500,000 years ago. So the thing is like, we can look at kale, we can look at potatoes, corn, celery, dogs, cats. These things have been on the planet for a long time, thousands of years, right? But their genes don't come through biogenetic processes. So what entity or what has been taking place on this planet? Because cats share DNA with chickens and amphibians and snakes, right? These people, like the brother said, they share 98% of their DNA with chimpanzees, but we don't see that expressed through so-called BLK people's phenotype. We don't naturally produce animal proteins or enzymes, right? We have antigens. So when we procreate with these people, they're procreating with antigens. They're not procreating with us because the DNA would not allow for it,
Holy
right? And
buzzword
that is the
spam.
reason
Jesus.
why when we first came in contact with them, they wiped out 509 million of our people because of the microbiome not being compatible with ours and toxic seminal fluids being poisonous to our mother's wombs. All right. So thank you for sharing that. Devious creates evolution, the biggest lie we're told. Using science, how do you feel about the prompt?
Uh, it's a 50-50. Science, okay, so I mean, I'm going to assume that you're done with that you're big on it. You know what dark matter is?
Yes.
Could you explain it to me, please?
No.
No? Okay. So dark matter is like the fabric that holds the universe together, right? So from darkness comes light, pretty much, right? The darkness gave light to the universe, right? It created the universe. Um it's a 50-50 because like, okay, I hear you guys talking and you're like, oh, the white people are they're only a couple thousand years here or whatever. Evolution does exist in the sense of like we can look at shades, right? We can look at shades of people and be like, okay, you went over in this equator and you started losing sauce. Your melanin started decreasing. Your melanin started decreasing, and your melanin is going. It's kind of like a crayon, right? Like you have a crayon, you're like, oh, this is dark red, and that right there is light red, and it keeps getting lighter and lighter and lighter. What's happening is losing its red. So it's like those people just lost their sauce throughout time. So evolution is a thing, yeah. Not the biggest lie. I mean, like monkeys, yeah. That like coming from monkeys, yeah. That's fugazi. Everything is its own species, and that's how it was created. But yeah, it's like a 50-50 thing. It's not like totally like evolution doesn't exist, but yeah.
I'm confused on why you brought up dark matter.
Because dark matter is okay. That would be the start of it, right? Like the dark beings. From darkness comes light. So the dark, even you can even think about that just for what I just said, right? From darkness comes light. From darkness, you had the black man or the black woman, and then here comes the white man and white women. So from darkness comes light. From the darkness gave birth to the light. Is corresponding.
It's not dark matter energy.
Huh?
That's not dark matter energy. Dark matter
Dark.
energy is interstellar gases, nanodiamonds, charged ionized particles. I see where you're going, but that's not dark matter energy, though. That's why I was confused at first.
Yeah,
But
no.
because this isn't a discussion
Nanodiamonds,
about.
charged,
Hold on one
ionized. What
second.
the
We don't
fuck
do
are
over
you?
talking.
Is she
We don't
talking?
do
Let her
over
talk.
talking, okay? All right. So I will get to you in just a second, but we're speaking.
Is
All
it
right.
okay?
So the thing is when it
Bro, you're
comes to.
trolling. I'm done. You
All
can kick
right.
me
We
off.
don't give a fuck, bro. We do not give a fuck. It's not about colors. It's about the biochemical composition that makes up the color. So this you got to talk about the DNA and the melanin type. But I got you with that. Damn, you were next. Kella, whatever the fuck your name was, you were next. But if you want to request back up, you can. If not, I'm gonna get back to Remy.
Okay. So, like, how old girl said it, right? And like you said it earlier, right? Like, you don't have the genetics, right? So you don't see like Asian women going back to having black babies, right? So that's what I was explaining with the pigs. With the pigs, you do see that, right? If you let a pig go out into the wild, right, that pig would eventually start to grow horns. That would start to get fur. It would start to get everything that the regular pig had because it's an evolutionary state with that. Now, only when they domesticated though, it's only when they domesticated though, do they not come back into their normal form. They will produce babies in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? They will only have like the little light skinned pigs, the pigs without the fur and pigs without the horns and stuff. But the moment you release them pigs back into the wild, they start to grow their horns back and they start to get the fur and stuff. They turn back into boars.
Pigs, domesticated pigs are not natural and wild animals. They're domesticated. They
No,
have
listen, listen.
progression. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Do not fucking over talk me. If I don't cut you off while you're speaking, do not cut me off while I'm speaking. Okay. You can even check the chat. Nobody is fucking with what you're saying because we understand the science. A pig's its genome is introgressed. That's why you're seeing it revert and change in nature. It's not a biogenetic animal, so it's not evolution. All right, so don't tell me to listen to you. Listen to what I'm saying to you in response. That a pig has introgressed DNA. Do you know what introgression is?
Man, it has been proven time and time again that boars go back into the wild. The pigs go back into the wild. They turn back into boars.
They don't turn back into a boar because they were born on a farm, right? So that means that their original origin was a pig. So how are they turning back into anything? What you're seeing is a byproduct of adaptation due to having an excessive amount of allelic genes. And when another thing is with this so-called boar, you're not going to see the same type of expressions throughout all these organisms that organism you're talking about. You're going to see some boars without horns. You're going to see some with them. You're going to see some much greater in size. You're going to see some, the fur might be slightly different. Some of them may have a different type of fur. Some of them may be a different color. So it's not the same because there's an excessive amount of allelic genes. All right. I got you with that though. I understand your premise. I'm just letting you know that you got to understand the genome because evolution is about a genotypic change. Right. So if you're talking about if you're saying that the genes are not changing and it's just the physical characteristics, then that's adaptation. That's not even evolution. You got me? All right. So I think it was I am him. Or my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. You're on mute. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How you feel about the prompt using science? And then I'm going to get to everybody else. Like I'll get back to Chris and I'll get
Wait, it's
back to
me?
Devious and I am. Yeah, go ahead.
How? What? I mean, I don't know. I think there's a pretty clear line of hominids that we can track from Homo sapiens that show that there's, evolution going on. Homo sapiens have only been on the scene for how long, and there are other humanoids that are walking about. I mean, we can just see how old they were and see that we descended from them. I don't think anyone's making the claim that we came from monkeys. I mean, I think we learned, the line of Homo sapiens and then Homo habilis and then Homo erectus and Australopithecus. At least for me, I learned that shit in like 6th grade.
Okay, but the thing is that this is a theory for all life forms on the planet, though. So this isn't just about the hominids you're talking about, but it's about the different organisms that make up the hominid that you're talking about. So Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo erectus, Homo floresiensis, Homo flabbergensis, all of those have introgressed genetics between multiple animals, unnatural plants, insects, and microorganisms. So before we talk about Homo sapien, we first got to talk about Homo canine, right? Before we talk about the Denisovans, we got to talk about Homo possidae. Before we start talking about these hominids, we got to start talking about Homo simian, right? Because this is what the so-called build of the organism that you're talking about is composed of. And what I'm telling y'all is that nature does not introgress genes. We've never seen it. Okay, you can only introgress genetics in a lab. And lab-like settings have been on this planet longer than scientists openly want to admit. That's why you have to sit down and look at the research papers and look at what's actually the claim, what they're saying, because the connection between prokaryotic organisms and eukaryotic organisms have never been seen in nature. It's only been modeled in a lab amongst synthetic prokaryotes and eukaryotes. All right, so I got you with that. I'm him. Did you want to say something?
It's
Or
yeah.
Kalai, did you? My bad. I seen you were off the app, Kalai. So I didn't know if you were leaving or what. But did you want to respond?
Yeah, basically, yeah, man, it is what it is, man.
I'm asking Kalai. Did you want to respond to what I just said?
Yeah, it sounded like you had a very clear understanding of evolution, and then you concluded it with, because we've never seen like any sort of mixing between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, that is not proof of evolution.
Yes, it is. The base premise is how prokaryotes.
Wait, what? Wait, so you do believe in evolution then?
No, listen to what I'm saying. The base premise of evolution is trying to prove that autotrophs became heterotrophic. Prokaryotes now evolved into eukaryotic organisms. How haploids turn into diploids of a different species. We've never seen that. So the base premise, which is what I just told you, has not been proven in nature. We've only seen this sort of engulfment take place in lab settings, not amongst natural prokaryotes.
The Petri dish.
They,
Y'all cool.
because that phenomenon takes place over millions and millions of years.
Okay, so then how come we can look at fossil records of organisms from millions and billions of years ago, but still not prove the engulfment?
Because I think looking at how a species evolves into something else is a lot easier to observe than, a multicellular organism making the jump to like something, that's living and breathing and can be seen with the naked eye.
You know, evolution is a genotypic change, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so then that means, according to your logic, we should be able to pinpoint what is changing within the genome. You're saying that we can't, or
We
whatever
can.
you're saying. Yeah, so that means that if we can't see it, then how can we prove evolution?
Because, you believe in adaptation. What do you call the compounding of adaptations over the course of millions of years?
Yeah, adaptation is not evolution. Adaptation is your physical characteristics adapting to your environment. Nothing about your genome changes. Nothing about your protein synthesis changes. Nothing about the way that you interact with UV light changes. Your DNA doesn't change. Your physical characteristics adapt because of because of what's within the DNA. So your DNA tells me how well enough you are able to adapt or not. The problem is that your people, everybody outside of my people, can't. That have never been able to adapt to the sun because millions
Facts.
of y'all get wiped out by it every year. We're seeing thousands of your people get wiped out in Europe right now, and it's
Your
also
people?
in the States. Yes,
Why'd you assume I'm white?
I can tell that there's a lack of magnetism in your voice, and I can see how you're pushing this narrative. So
Well, because I think just being anti-evolution is being anti-intellectual.
okay, but you
I think
haven't
this.
been able
I
to
think this
explain
is.
the
I
base
think this
premise.
is like. I think this is.
Yeah, but you haven't been able to explain the base premise. You're saying that it's anti-intellectual and you don't want to do that, but you don't have an intellectual response to explain how haploids turn into diploids of another species, and none of your scientists do either. But I'm
Using. Okay.
getting a kick
May I
out of
speak?
trying it on a TikTok live. That's why I do it. I be laughing.
Everything natural to the
Hold
planet.
on
Can I
for a
The
please?
second. I'm gonna
outside.
get to everybody. Let him land, and then I'll get to you.
So you agree
Don't
that
ask me a question.
adaptations are
Just land, please. Don't ask me nothing else, please.
how do adaptations fundamentally change your DNA over a certain period of time?
I never said that.
Because
You're
those
trying to say
favorable
that.
characteristics are tied to your genome. So if that compounds over the course of millions of years, you're going to see some pretty drastic differences. Yeah, one adaptation over a few generations could be something as simple as an animal's skin color going from brown to green to make it blend in more with the environment. But I think it's just foolish to say that your DNA isn't going to change, over the course of many, many, many adaptations, and therefore that is proof that evolution isn't real.
You want to know how I know? Because so-called black people, we've never had vestigial tails. We've never been born with congenital and lumbar
You have a
hypertrophy.
tailbone. We all
Look,
have.
I don't overtalk you, so shh. Okay? Our people, I said vestigial tails. Don't put words in my mouth now. Listen, that's y'all problem. That's why, you see, I said vestigial tails. It has never been proven at any point of history, not even today, that our people are being born with vestigial tails. We have never been born on all fours with hypertrichosis, whether it be congenital or lumbar. We don't undergo photocarcinogenesis. We don't undergo squamous cell carcinoma. We don't undergo basal cell carcinoma, TP53, SLOS phenotype, none of the genetic mutations that are connected to UV radiation. Y'all do. Okay, so how come over billions of motherfucking years, our genes have never mutated because of the sun, but y'all's is? How are we the same species if the same thing isn't happening to us under the sun? All right, so I heard what you had to say. I think the brother, who is it? Devious? Is Devious next? Is that Devious or is it? Yeah, Devious
I
is
go.
next.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what the next line is. I think I don't know if we disagreed or agreed. Um, but yeah, I was saying like evolution is a 50-50, you know, like if we are started from the black man, you can see that when Asians went over to their side, or not even Asian, excuse me, when the other blacks or the dark people, whatever you want to call them, migrated over there to that tribe, left and went over there. Their bodies had to evolve to that setting. So they got double eyelids. They're for to block the wind. The lighter, you know, I was talking about on the other side of the equator. The darker people got this. The lighter people got long hair to keep the cold from hitting the back of their necks and things like that. So we evolved, but we didn't. Yeah, we didn't evolve from monkeys. That's the only thing I could say. We're
Well,
all different.
this isn't a theory about monkeys, though. I know I keep hearing you say that,
Oh, that's
but this
because the
is
monkey
about
picture's
all
right there.
life forms like on the planet. It's not just about monkeys. But I did hear you say that we all came from a so-called black man. You come from a
Well,
man.
like not black, but like a dark, the dark. Because that's why I had brought up the dark matter, dark energy, and darkness. From darkness comes light, because it still correlates to what evolution is. Like you can look at a crayon, you could take a crayon. Like I said, you could take a crayon. Bill Nye the Science Guy said this too. Like whatever. I don't know if you like actually like are 100% with science, but he said it. You could look at. I mean, that's basic math though. You could look at it and be like, all right, well, this people over here darker, and then there is just shades. It's not even a race. It's just shades, like you said earlier. It's just shades. Like they're getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So is you want to call it de-evolution or evolution, whatever. But they started off black, like actual black, not how they call us black now, and we're actually brown. But they started off actual black, and then through time they started to lose less and less melanin. Like me and you, we probably I looked at I can see you right there. You're not as black as the Africans over there, even though that's because like even in Africa, some of the Africans they're not even the same shade black. You got some that are like midnight black, right? And they're all in the same equator. They're all in the same region, getting the same sunlight. So you can see right then. Are you going? Is somebody? You can see there that there's like a difference. So you and I even lost some sauce. We're not totally sauceless, but we lost some sauce, and then people just started losing sauce, and then those people came and mixed with the other people, and then that's how we got here. But evolution. Only reason I keep saying monkeys is because the picture of the monkey is right there. That's why I keep saying it. So I'm assuming that's what you mean by the evolution is a lie. But yeah, as far as evolution, like that we did evolve or adapt it to our surroundings, which would be evolution or de-evolution, depending on how you want to look at it.
Okay, so de-evolution is not a thing, and
Yeah,
it's never actually been proven either. Because when you have introgress genes, there's nothing for you to de-evolve into because you have different percentages of organisms that function your genetics. So you can't turn into 100% of anything because you're not made up of 100%. Your DNA is not dominant. I heard you say that we come from a black man, but I've never seen that. You said something about Bill Nye and if I was into real science, but I've never seen in science, which is the study of the natural world, of anybody coming from a man. So that threw me off. When you're talking about colors, like kindergarten colors and shit like that, that's not how DNA or genetics works either. Respectfully, like DNA and genetics and melanin is not like taking like red paint and then mixing white to make pink. This is a conversation about biochemical substances, like actually knowing the 5 different types of basic melanin that exist here amongst organisms, and then the 3 that are synthetic. And that's how we get to 8 different types. It's about how well you are able to adapt with UV radiation and terrestrial radiation, right? It's not about the color. It's about what makes up the color, why the color is phenotypically presenting that way, which is biochemistry, not like red and blue, right? Because that's not how it go. You know what
no.
I'm
So
saying? When it
are you?
comes to the prompt, and the reason why there's the picture of the monkeys is because it's meant to mislead you. The title says evolution, the biggest lie ever told. They're teaching evolution in schools like how you see it on the screen. So I don't agree with the prompt, and that's why I'm live about it. I just want to see how y'all feel. To acknowledge de-evolution means that you would believe in evolution. I mean, in order for you to de-evolve, you would have to evolve, right? So The
No,
de-evolution is not a thing, and evolution hasn't been proven. But I got you
uh,
with that. I
uh,
got
uh,
you.
can I just finish? Can I say something real quick before you move on? So I was just saying de-evolution because some people will state that, like people that are pro-black will state that as de-evolution because they don't have melanin no more. Well, they have melanin. Like white people have melanin. They just don't have the adequate amount that we have, or and they have another type of melanin as well that gives them that pink pigment and things like that. So, but as far as me using crayons and stuff like that, I'm just saying that so people can understand the shade and how it decreases when you look at it. So if you take the darkest blue, and then there's another shade of blue that's lighter than that blue. Then that blue, it's like the same thing. I'm just breaking it down, trying to simplify it for people to understand that that's how the evolution or whatever you want to call it, the way you look at it, it is a change or adaptation in our uh, uh, phenotype, or like you said, right? You had to, and when I say a black man, I just say like that because like we're told, well, we're not even told, but we see that man and woman makes babies. So that's why I say we come from a dark man or a dark woman as well. Sorry, okay, I understand what you're saying. Dark women as well, because the X chromosome is older than the Y chromosome. So yeah, but so yeah, that's what I was saying. The darkest man, the dark matter, the dark energy, darkness is what produced that, and then as we went on, we started to lose sauce.
You don't lose
Depending on you.
sauce. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm up here and I've been going live about this over 4 years. This is my second page. I've never dumbed it down for anybody. If you request up here and you hear the way that I talk, that means that you understand that you can hang in the conversation. It's up to the people in the chat and the people that are listening to switch the screen that they're on to actually go look up the words or read a book about it. I seen somebody asking for my sources. They're on my page. You see what I'm saying? I have a YouTube. I've been doing the YouTube for over a year. I've debunked biologists. I've debunked ecologists. I've debunked people that study this because I understand the basics of the premise. So you shouldn't have to dumb anything down for yourself because I don't consider myself to be dumb. So why would I be dumbing anything down? My people are neuromelanated and they literally are the fabric of the universe. They literally are dark matter energy. So why would I dumb it down for them? They're the smartest beings walking, the most intellectual and divine beings on this planet. I would never dumb anything down because my people are not dumb.
Is
Now, if
this
I'm
for
talking
me?
to white, look, don't overtalk me, please.
I'm
When
asking,
it
is this for
comes
me?
to, okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. When it's other people and it's YT people, yeah, maybe I'll dumb it down for them, but barely that. Because the problem with it is YT people can actually hang in a conversation with evolution. Our people can't. So we're using shit like colors and shit like that, and we don't really truly understand it. That's why the brother is saying, "Oh, we lost sauce." Baby, you better know your melanin, okay? And know the 8 different types. Instead of saying colors and Bill Nye and shit, lock in with your DNA. Because if you don't know it, my brother, that means that you're not teaching the next generation. If you don't know it, that means that you can't tell a child. And our children got to know the truth. So I understand this is TikTok, but I don't play. You see what I'm saying? I just happen to be on TikTok because all our people is on this app. What's the quickest way to reach my people is an app like this. Other than that, we should be in nature, right? We shouldn't even be on the phone. It's sad that I'm on the phone we're having a discussion about our DNA, right? We left this information in stone for each other way before these people even got on the planet. So it's no excuse why you shouldn't know this. It's no excuse why you're not studying your planet and why you're not studying your DNA and your genetics, right? Even when you talk to a child, I'm not going to dumb it down for them because the next generation is smarter than me. What? I don't play about the children, man. I sure don't. Buddhist. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How you... Wait, the greatest one. You was up here first. Did you want to speak? Or was it an accident? Did you mean to request up, my sister? The greatest one? I think it might be an
Can I speak up?
I think it might be an accident. Request back up if it is. Buddhist, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm somebody who I'm currently in college for biology. The evolution is just a known fact. It's the basic assumption when conducting biological research and anthropological research and research through geology and the geologic record. So I'm just genuinely curious. What do you think is the best evidence that evolution is false? And we can talk about it, and we can learn and understand it.
No. Go ahead and tell me why you disagree or agree with the prompt.
I disagree with it because it is the foundation to doing any kind of science in biology, microbiology, geology, just all of these things. It is the foundation to understanding science, is that humans were not always humans, that things were not always what they are, and what we see is like a slow change in the genealogy of species. What they are, and a slow in the genealogy of.
Go ahead, Buddhist. You're on mute.
That's all I had to say, really, was that like it's just the foundation to understanding these things, and there's a reason that basically all accredited scientists don't entertain the idea that evolution could be false.
But they do, though. I can name you up to almost 20 doctors right now that are so-called BLK, YT, Dravidian, and Asian, and so-called Hispanic, that are saying that evolution isn't true because we've never seen the cellular engulfment between prokaryotes and eukaryotes take place in nature. Scientists also can't prove the genetic and biological connection between all people. We can prove the genetic and biological connection between certain groups, but not all people on the planet. So my thing is, you said that you're in school for biology. Do you understand how prokaryotes and eukaryotes function and the difference between the two? Okay.
Yes. But the one thing that I really wanted to respond to real quick is you said 20. Have you ever heard of the Steve Project, which is a project of getting people specifically only named Steve to sign something saying that evolution is the foundation to science and just a known fact? There are hundreds of signatures on it. Hundreds of scientists across a bunch of different fields all saying evolution is a known fact. And all of them were named Steve.
Okay, and none of the people that I'm going to name you start with Steve, okay? And they come from different backgrounds, and they don't even all say the same thing, all right? And they're not all from the same time periods either. Okay, so I got you with that, right? And only y'all do that. Our people are never invited to those meetings. The melanin conferences that are held every 3 years, our people are specifically not invited to that. So that must just be y'all as an incomplete dominant species. I can guarantee you so-called Black people are not in on it because they don't even want to publish our books. We have to have our own publishing companies for that. They don't even want to we don't even publish our shit on the same site, or we don't even have the same peer review circle, because we're not all saying the same thing. You can take this what one person is saying and it will line up with what another person is saying. And if it's around evolution, that's what I'm talking about. So that really bars none.
I'm saying that hundreds of people have all.
Don't overtalk me. That bars none. I asked you a question. You said that you're studying biology, and you said that you know the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now, what is the main distinction between the two cellular form types?
Primarily the existence of the nucleus and like the way that it is shaped. And along with the fact that the organelles in the cell are different across prokaryotes and eukaryotes.
So you're saying that the main distinction is the nucleus, the absence of the nucleus and the presence of the nucleus within the eukaryote?
Yes.
Okay. So I got you with that. Now, these two cells come into existence two different ways. So you believe that you are a eukaryotic organism, right?
Yes.
Except for I have several proof, and I have a lot of proof that my cells function like prokaryotes. They don't function like yours, and that's why we see a phenotypical difference. So I just want to ask you, since you're a eukaryotic cell, which is the latter half of, the phenomenon between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, how do you really think you got on the planet then, if prokaryotes and eukaryotes don't have the same origin?
They do have the same origin. Eukaryotes evolved from prokaryotes.
Okay. How could that have been when prokaryotes only make replications of themselves through vertical gene transfer?
Because it's not 100% perfect. And because some of them began to store their DNA in a protein shell, which is like it went from something very basic to what we see today. Like it's basically just the ones that wrap their DNA in protein and binded it all together and like in their cell had better outcomes in certain environments, leading to that trait getting progressively tacked on to eventually developing to full-fledged eukaryotic cells.
But prokaryotes make replications of themselves and have been doing that for billions of years until eukaryotes came. Eukaryotes came into the picture through the so-called process of evolution. So the thing is that cheetahs have been replicating themselves for billions of years. So have elephants. So have our people. So have butterflies, bees, prokaryotic microorganisms. All life forms have been doing the same things, but y'all are the biggest question mark though. Y'all's genes are introgress. You
Your
are a
math is blowing
horizontal
my mind.
genetic transferable species that needs genetic material from other organisms. Because I told you, I'm sitting next to all my books. So if I'm lying, I can just read you what the doctors are saying because I'm sitting next to a book that's written by 4 BOK neuroscientists and Dr. Kel Barnes backed her up. I just posted Harvard geneticist Dr. David Reach that says that only y'all have Neanderthal DNA and that we don't. Danielle Silverman and
That is
Dr.
correct.
Okay, if you overtalk me again, I'm gonna move to the next guest. Okay, have some respect. I'm not cutting you off when you speak. All right. So the thing is that several doctors are saying that we are not the same species. Dr. Ella Al-Shamaha said that so-called Black people have DNA that is connected to an entirely different species outside of this planet that we've never seen before. David Icke said the same thing and talked about the story with Simon Toko. We all know the story of Henrietta Lacks, and we all see that there's a difference within our phenotype. We see that your people are undergoing issues under the sun, and that's not happening with our people. Our people are having genetic abnormalities due to the environment, due to the fact that we came in contact with y'all. Y'all wiped out 509 million of our people, right? So I'm not bluffing. Evolution is about a cellular change, right? A genotypic change. So I want to talk about how when we came in contact with y'all wiped out 509 million of our people due to incompatible DNA. That is a true and biological fact. That is a
It was
genetic fact.
germs, not DNA.
Where do you think germs come from? And where do you think germs are fucking stored?
Germs are on everything everywhere.
Correct.
Like they're omnipresent essentially and on Earth.
And where do they
Everywhere
come
you
from?
look. They come from, again, the same process of evolution, just going from more simple prokaryotes to more complex prokaryotes to target specific cells, primarily of eukaryotes is where they target. And that's how we get sick, is because we have prokaryotes destroying our eukaryotic cells. Also, I don't think you're lying. I think you're genuinely deluded. This is not my forte. My forte is talking to people who don't know what they're talking about. I talk to a lot of people who just don't understand evolution. You understand evolution. You've just fallen into delusion, causing you not to continue to understand or believe anything. I think you are genuinely so...
I'm not telling you how to think. I'm not telling you what you think or none of that. Don't do that to me. You don't know because you don't fucking know me. All right. So don't try to tell me how to think and shit like that. Answer the motherfucking prompt. Matter of fact, let's cut to the chase. Explain to me, and I'm gonna give me 3 sentences or less how haploids turn into diploids of another species, please. You didn't piss me off. I'm finna just move on to the next guest. Like what? Tell me how haploids turn into diploids, please, at once. 3 sentences or less.
That is a complex question that would require more than 3 sentences to sufficiently answer.
How many sentences
Also,
do you need?
I'm not
Hold
telling
on.
you how...
Hold on.
I'm not telling...
I'd love to hear this because no scientist on the globe can explain it, but this nigga think he can. How many sentences do you think you need?
There are
And I'm gonna
entire
count them
papers
too.
talking about how this could go, this could have happened, how this could go
How it
about.
could have, right? How it could
Yes, we don't
happen.
know because of the fact that
Because it
because of
never
the
happened,
problem of
huh?
hard empiricism,
Yep.
because of the problem of solipsism, we don't know anything for sure except for the fact that we are real. This could I could be a brain in a jar and all of you guys could be just delusions of my mind. However, I don't believe that. I do believe in fact that all of us are real, that all of this is true and all of this is happening. But that does not mean that we understand everything about our environment perfectly fine. Everything could be proven wrong over time. It's just evolution is a foundational understanding to the continuance of microbiology, to the continuance of um, geology
I
and
believe.
paleontology and basically all of these fields that work with living things. I'm saying that like I think you are educated on several different things, on plenty of things. I just think that you choose not to understand it and you choose to teach things that you have been totally deluded by. I think that you
Okay.
are intelligent but unreasonable.
Okay. So again, I asked you a simple question, which is the base premise of evolution. The when we were talking about prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and gratitude, by the way, for telling me that I'm very uneducated, but I'm not gonna
I
accept
never
what
said
you
that you were
said.
uneducated. I said you are very educated.
Okay. I misspoke, okay? I misspoke because of all of the, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. Thank you for telling me that I know what I'm talking about. But we all just heard you say that you wouldn't be able to prove it to me. I asked you, how did haploids turn into diploids? And you said we've never seen it. You said we can't really explain it and people take a shot at it. They try. So you prove my point. I'm not here to be friends with you. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I want to know how you got on the planet. And if you can't tell me, then there's no reason why I should be getting psychologically evaluated by you, medically evaluated by you. There's no reason why we need to be living amongst each other. There's no reason why I need to be talking to you. I'm only talking to you asking how the fuck you got in my mother's womb. And if you're saying out of your mouth you can't explain it, thanks for playing. All right? I'm not here for that. Don't tell me about you sound smart but you're delusional. Excuse me, am I throwing insults at you? Am I saying those kinds of things about you or am I keeping it straight science and biology? You wiped out 509 million of my people, our children, our men, our women, and you're still doing it. No matter how you dice that shit, y'all are living off of the G side of our people across the globe. You better be able to answer me something. Fuck is you talking about? I don't call people names. I don't say, oh, this guy's delusional. I don't have to. I can intellectually debunk you with the science, which is the study of the natural world. We can pinpoint what is natural and what is not. I don't have to insult you. I don't have to tell you about your intellect. We're not the same species. We're not composed of the same consciousness. You don't have a morphic field. You're not a neuromelanated person. Your scientists are saying that you're born with your pineal glands calcified, which means that you're incapable of consciousness. Dr. N.C. Brown proved that neuromelanin is the core of consciousness. And y'all don't have it. You don't naturally produce it.
So you're the only. So black people are the only conscious folk.
Absolutely.
So what am
Anything
I
else?
right now?
Anything else?
What?
Conscious, biogenesis, fabric of the universe, dark matter energy. You heard the brother. He wasn't explaining it right, but hell,
Nanodiamonds, right?
interstellar gases and nanodiamonds. Facts. What's up?
And like pulsars and quasars and all that.
Yeah, quantum. Yep.
Supernovas, quantum. Yeah, like Schrodinger's box. Bro, the holy buzzword spam, man. Come on, man.
Yep. Anything else?
Let me
Because
think.
you break down to calcium ionospheres. You don't break down to atoms. That's how I know you're not connected to the universe, even though you're saying that.
I degrade into uranium-238.
Uranium who? Synthetic. Okay. You talking
That's on the
to somebody that
periodic
really
table,
know-
fool. How is that synthetic?
Where on the
The
periodic
table of
Where?
elements?
Where on the periodic table is everything on the periodic table natural? Or are some of those gases and elements man-made?
That doesn't mean all of them are synthetic.
but some of them
Yeah,
are,
some
and
are.
that's the
Yeah,
reason. Okay, then
we have
yes,
managed to make some elements. It's a
correct.
marvel of engineering and science.
Correct. Thank you. Calcium
Okay.
ionospheres. Yep.
What about them?
That's what you break down to. That's what makes your sulfur and your ammonia that you're composed of. That's why when you get wet, you smell like dogs. No shade. We start to smell animal proteins and enzymes because what's binding your cells is in vitro light. The
What?
lipids are responsible for sending out DNA or sending out genetic material in and out of your cells. We're literally smelling your DNA when we walk past you, and it stinks. I'm just keeping it a
Okay, you
button.
clearly know more about this than everyone else. Have you ever published any papers?
Yeah.
Can we please are they in your bio? Are they free for us to read? Are they peer reviewed by anybody?
I haven't published any papers, but I do put all of my lives and all of my sources and everything on my YouTube. And there's a publishing date on that. So there's that. You see what I'm saying? What in a lot of the lives I just do I posted just the audio, but lately I've been posting all my sources, the petroglyphs, the figurines, the statues, the books, the doctors, um, everything that I have that I've literally come across in the last 11 years, because it's like 11 years worth of studying, and then 4 core years of me focusing on genetics and biology and the genetic differences. So you can check that out. Link in my bio.
Is there a leading expert we can refer to instead of a culmination of a bunch of different YouTube videos and probably not reviewed papers?
Okay, so I don't understand your question. You're asking me for a leader, but you're
Yeah, is
asking
there
me, do
like a
I have,
name that you can attribute to this theory? Like, there's got to be an expert.
that's what's within the sources that I'm telling you about. There's several of them. Dr. Richard King, Dr. N.C. Brown, Dr. Edward Bruce Bynum, Dr. T. Owens Moore, Dr. Ella Alshaw
Hey, wait,
Mahal.
you're going too fast. I need those names.
Okay, I understand y'all trying to do that, but I really don't do over talking because it's disrespectful. All of my books are pinned on my page. All right, so I got you with that. Kalai, Steven, you're up here. How do you feel about the prompt using science?
Uh, I'm just really listening. You're educating the hell out of me, so keep
Did
doing
you
what
mean
you
to
do.
request up? Gratitude for saying that.
Yeah, keep doing it, girl.
Did you mean to request up?
You talking to Stephen?
Yeah.
It was an accident, but I mean, I'm up here listening to you, and I'm really admiring the things that you're saying. It makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm not, all that educated, but it makes a lot of sense to me. So keep doing what you do, my girl.
Okay. Gratitude for sharing that, my brother. Let's see, BB or Bebby. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How do you feel about the prompt using science? You're on mute. Bebby,
Can you hear me
84122.
now?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I feel like the prompt is on point, and I feel like the things you're saying, I tend to believe most of them, but I want to know the name of some of the people you've been mentioning so I could read some of these books myself also. Maybe find some of their lectures and whatnot.
Okay, I just told him that all the books are pinned on the page, on my page.
All right, appreciate that.
Gratitude. All right, I think it was can't y'all try to refrain from requesting in the bottom box because I can't see it. So whoever's in that bottom box right there, you can come off mute and tell me how you feel about the prompt using science. Chris, can you help me out? Because I can't see him. I can't unmute him or nothing. All right, I'm finna move on to the next guest. My bad. 9. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How do you feel about the prompt using science? 9. His name is G7 Jones. There we go. G7 Jones. Did you mean to request up? Okay, he left. All right, so 9. 9 Brooks. 5. Did you mean to request up? Hello, hello, hello. All right, request back up. Okay. All right, so let's see.
Someone in the comments said they're prokaryotic
Devious
functioning. What is that?
Creates. Did you want to say something else? Devious Creates.
Hey, yeah, what's up? Yeah. All right, so it seems like we were having like some type of understanding. I was just trying to see if you were talking to me in that last joint or if you were talking to somebody in the stand. I wasn't trying to like, you feel me? Because I understand that you'd be like, you talking and not talking, that's cool, that's respectful. I'm with it. I was just trying to clarify who you was talking to. But moving on. The evolution, right? Like how you were talking to the other dude about the carrots and some other type of carrots. It's kind of that, but that's what I was saying. Like, okay, you know how you could look at some like an Asian, right? You might see an Asian man or Asian woman, and they have coiled hair, or they resembled. If you look back, you could see that which come like the original Asians, like the people, or even the original like the darker Indians and things like that, right? You could look at them and be like, all right, well, they got darker skin than the ones now. So that's just a mix of the beginning and the end. That's all it is. The mix in the beginning and the end. So again, the dark matter came, boom, boom, boom. We broke over. They went over there. They went over there. We went over there. That's why you look at you can even see some white men and look at them and be like, yo, they got his beard is kind of look like that of a black man. It's coiled, because they adapted, but I'm going to have to say it. They lost sauce. And I know to you and to the people it sounds ridiculous, but that's what it is. Like if they went over here and there's less sunlight over there, their melanin isn't going to produce like that. If they're not eating foods that are copper rich and things like that, their melanin isn't going to produce like that. So they're going to lose it, and their body's going to have to adapt to their new surroundings and their new livings. So again, depending on how you're viewing it, you could say is de-evolution or evolution, whatever. I got to stick with it. But that's, to me, honestly, if you're going to be honest, right, you have to say that, okay, like I said, you can look at Asian people, right? Like the Aboriginal Asians and be like, yo, they got froze, they're dark skinned, they still have that Asian aesthetic look, right? That we will say is Asian, even though like it's really just a different African tribe. But that is true, like, right? So even Puerto Ricans are Dominicans and things like that. They'll like we make jokes about it, like me no Dominican poppy, me no black, me Dominican. No, you're a black guy. You just speak a language of Spanish. So that's why you can even look at them and be like, yo, I don't know, are you black or you not black? It's all there. They came from. Everybody came from the dark matter, and as time went on, tribe went left, tribe went north, tribe went south, tribe went west, and the plateaus broke apart. People were like, and after that, evolution took part, and people had the body parts had to adapt. That's why Asians got eyes like the way they do. That's why Indians are the way they are. That's why white people got long. Most of them got long, straight hair because the back of your neck is your central nervous system. So it had to adapt. They had to adapt and get the long, straight hair. That's why we have short hair, because we live in a more heated. We stayed in a more heated region, so we didn't have to worry about cold and our nervous systems being attacked throughout. You get what I'm saying? So I can't play like this isn't the obvious type thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're saying that you can't play like it's the obvious because you're only looking at things on the surface level anyway. And like I already said to you earlier, is that this is a discussion about genetics and biology. So if you're only looking at hair and you're only looking at skin, but you don't know what makes up the hair and what makes up the skin and the difference in protein synthesis, then you don't actually know what's going on. So that means that you don't really know what you believe in, how it's true, and you're unable to articulate it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but respectfully, that's why you keep saying sauce, because we're not composed of fucking sauce. All right. We're made up of melanin, biochemical substances. We have proteins, amino acids. You see what I'm saying? We're made up of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, helium, oxygen. Like, that's what this discussion is about. And I feel like you keep trying to come up here to push that narrative. And so if that's all you have, I'm just going to move on to the next guest. You know what I'm saying? Chris, did you want to say something, or are you just up here to mod easier?
I'm just up here to mod.
Okay,
Oh,
gratitude, my brother.
Hmm.
am I allowed to? When you said, is that all? When I say sauce, that's what I mean. The melanin. I'm just slanging it up. All right, that's all I'm saying. The sauce is melanin. I understand what makes up. I said that in the beginning. They have melanin. They have a different type of melanin. They still have even the dark matter. The dark matter is just not as much or adequate as much as that we have. As I said before, there are people darker than you that have more melanin than you. Correct or not correct? You
Not
have,
correct.
huh?
Not correct.
So somebody that's darker than you don't have more melanin than you?
No, it depends on what type of melanin they have, and if it's first even the same as mine. Because there are Dravidians that are so-called darker, but clearly they have a different melanin. They're eumelanated, in vitro eumelanated. So
So
I see Kalai is asking, or I hope I'm saying his name right, but he's asking what are the 8 types, and he's saying that there's only 3. There's not. Okay. This is a discussion about all life forms on the planet. Y'all are the ones that are making it about people. I keep trying to have a discussion about cells, insects, animals. You see what I'm saying? I keep wanting to talk to y'all about all life forms, and y'all just keep making it about people. So when we're talking about all life forms on the planet, which is what evolution is about, there are 8 different types of melanin. 5 that are basic and natural, and 3 that are synthetic. I'm not wrong about anything that I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said she can't handle people disagreeing. What do you mean I can't handle it? I'm just responding with science. I give everybody the same introduction. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. How do you feel about the prompt using science? So what do you mean? Okay. So the thing is that when you say darker, devious, darker of what? Are these people that are dark of in vitro eumelanin or in vitro pheomelanin? Because these 2 types of melanins will turn into each other. They're on opposite ends of the spectrum. They're both animal-based melanin types that are synthetic animal melanin. And then you have natural organisms like cheetahs, lions, right? Ants have natural pheomelanin, right? Your dark animals like sloths, your raccoons, right? Those are animals that are eumelanated, and their melanin is natural to this planet. When we look at the biochemical composition, it would explain that it comes through natural biogenetic processes. The type of melanin you have explains the type of DNA that we're looking at, right? Because everything has melanin. Even what they consider to be non-living organisms have melanin, right? Microorganisms are pyomelanated, right? So when people are like, oh, there's only 3. Nope, there's pyomelanin, there's allomelanin, there's pheomelanin, eumelanin, neuromelanin, and then you have in vitro pheomelanin, in vitro eumelanin, and in vitro neuromelanin. And the reason why it's important to talk about it is because the animals that these people are made up of have those 3 synthetic types, like chimpanzees, bonobos, mice, sheep, and goats have in vitro neuromelanin. And this is what is within the human genome.
So we
No,
don't all have the same types of 3 melanin, is what you're saying.
Correct.
no, we
You
don't.
just
I
have
mean,
you just have a different fundamental understanding of all of these things than everyone else. Like, there's no one is going to win an argument with you. This is impossible. Like not even the fundamentals are clear. Anyone who comes up here, any opposition is going to constantly be just be bombarded with all of these buzzwords and like in vitro. Like there's only 3 types of melanin occurring in humans, and it's easier to keep the conversation focused on humans because you're just all over the place talking about butterflies and every other animal being around for billions and billions of years, which just isn't true.
But this is a theory that is connecting all life forms on the
You're nothing
planet.
without
So
me.
that's the thing. You see how your people are the only ones coming up here doing this weird shit? That's genetic expression. There's a reason why we can pinpoint within the DNA why y'all do the things that y'all do and why we have
This
never
is just
done that.
anti-intellectual. That's not a link.
Okay, so if it's anti-intellectual, thanks for fucking playing, right? Why would you talk to a person that's not intellectual? Why would you waste your time and your energy if I'm dumb? If I don't know what I'm talking about, why would you talk to me? But guess what? I've been live for what, an hour and 17 minutes? And you've been here a good grip of that, talking to me. So you're saying buzzwords, but chronobiology is not a buzzword to a chronobiologist. They know what that is. So you just don't know. I seen you switch your app and try to Google what the melanin types were because you didn't know them. Then he literally gave up and started crashing out. Oh, no one's gonna win an argument. No one's gonna win. No one can do it. It's impossible. Thank you for telling me about your psychological state, which is directly connected to your genes. Fuck, you're never gonna win with me because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I told you, I've debunked ecologists. I just did it like last week, like 2 weeks ago. I debunked a wildlife management specialist with a heavy biology background. She admitted out of her mouth, I can admit that there is no clear connection between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And I'm unable to explain how haploids turn into diploids. And other scientists are too. Thank you. Of course, like he said, oh, you're just up here having fun. Of course. Of course I am. This is what I do in my spare time. After I've already been out in the sun for 8 to 12 hours. Yeah, of course. This is what I do for fun. Exactly, sis. Somebody say, are you related to Lucy? No, but I think you are. I'm up here having fun, right? Is the boy in the thing? Yeah, look, he requested back up. That's funny. They talking about you up here having fun. I can't win with you. It's impossible. Wham. So,
Hey,
Lucas Slams. Hold on for a second, my brother. Lucas Slams. Evolution. The biggest lie ever told. How do you feel about the prompt using science?
It's the most well supported theory in life science. Denying it is as ignorant as denying gravity. So why do you not think evolution is true?
Why do you believe in evolution? What's the sources and what do you have? I've already been talking.
Centuries of studies and experiments and just direct observations like that anyone could do. You don't need to be a scientist to observe evolution.
Correct. So what do you have?
Have you heard the example of the peppered moths in Victorian England?
No, not that one, not specifically.
Okay, so the way it goes is in England during the Industrial Revolution, when there were a lot of factories that were being built and they were spitting out a bunch of soot in the air. So it was literally staining things like brown, like darkish, kind of like blackish gray. And there is a species of moth that lives there. It's called the peppered moth. And generally the moths are white because the trees they live on are white. So they're well camouflaged and they survive well. There is, however, a mutation that makes peppered moths dark colored. And generally this was very uncommon in the population because they stood out and were eaten by predators before they could reproduce. But once there was now the soot in the air, the trees were a darker color, so the white moths stood out, and the darker colored moths were more well camouflaged, so they had an advantage. So they were more likely to survive and more likely to reproduce. And I don't know if you could see where I'm going with this, but so over time, the peppered moths, as a species, changed colors from white to dark. that's a pretty clear cut, short term example of evolution.
Okay. No, it's not. Because you didn't explain to me a genotypic change.
Okay,
Evolution.
so the
Can
genotypic
I
change
respond to
is
you? Can
the
I respond to
genotypic
you,
change
please?
is
Can I
whatever in the
respond to you,
genome.
please?
Typically for
Since I didn't
animals,
cut you off
melanin.
not once, can I respond to you, please? Or
Sorry,
am I not
yes,
allowed
but
to do that? Thank you.
nope, you're allowed to do that. Sorry, continue.
Thanks. No, it's okay. Thank you. The thing is that evolution is a genotypic change. What you explained to me is an adaptation. You literally said the word adapt. You said or you didn't say adapt, excuse me, but you said that they're able to blend in with their surroundings as a
Yes.
byproduct of something unnatural taking place in their environment. So we can't talk about something unnatural taking place in the environment and then call it evolution. There was never supposed to be smoke within their environment. So they were never supposed to change that color or was supposed to become stained to blend in with anything. The color that they were naturally born at, the melanin type that they possessed, is what they were born with. That's how they were before this so-called event took place as a byproduct of humans being dumb.
Okay, so if you want an example of something that humans did not have anything to do with, I can give you that too. Okay?
Sure.
So, an example is, are you familiar with insular dwarfism or island dwarfism?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an example of that. Through just kind of random chance, a lot of times it'll happen if an animal can fly or swim and it gets to an island and there are fewer resources on the island. So there are fewer resources, so it's more difficult to sustain a very large animal. So the smaller individuals of the population will be able to outcompete the larger ones, and then over time, that keeps happening until eventually the species is much, much smaller than the other species. And that's just, and to what you were saying earlier, the relationship, but you said that it was, the reason why it was invalid, my example too, was because it wasn't addressing the genotypic difference, which is kind of a strange thing to say in my opinion, because phenotype and genotype are directly related. That's, do you understand what I mean by that?
Are you done with your explanation?
Yes, but do you understand what I mean when I say genotype and phenotype are related?
I understand why you're saying it, but are you done with your explanation so I can respond to everything you just said?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is like you mentioned dwarfism, which is a genetic mutation to begin with, which is already letting me know whatever organism you're talking about has an excessive amount of allelic genes, which means that you're not talking about the change between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. You're not giving me a natural example.
Well, that's an entirely different thing.
I didn't cut you off now, did I? So allow me to fully respond to everything that you just said, please. Okay. So dwarfism is not natural to this planet. All right. It is a genetic mutation that happens, an issue with the cellular division process. All right. We only see that happen with y'all. I'll give you an example. Homo floresiensis is your so-called seven dwarfs, to be exact. So that is a byproduct of having introgress genes. None of our people have had that. We have genetic abnormalities as a byproduct of there being different schmaxines being given at birth, the water is aquamated, malnutrition. Dr. Amison Wilson proved the connection between our diet and all of the different genetic disorders that we go through versus if we were to actually look at the causes of everybody else and their genetic mutations. It's not the same thing because we don't have the same cellular form type. We don't have the same cells. So with what you're saying about the phenotype expressing the genetics, that's true. But again, we're not expressing the same type of phenotype. My hair doesn't fall down to the ground like yours. I don't smell of sulfur and ammonia like you. I can actually stand out in the sun. My cells are going to regenerate themselves within 20 minutes. It's going to take you 24 to 36 hours to do it because your cells have to go through meiosis and mitosis. All right. My cells don't do that because they make they are coded in their morphic field is the neuromelanin. That was proven by Dr. John Biggerstaff and Danielle Silverman, Dr. Richard King, Edward Bruce Bynum, Ann C. Brown, and T. Owens Moore. All right. So,
Okay, just one thing too. It's really strange that you insinuated that I smell like sulfur, but that whatever, that's not relevant. And also, you said that.
it is because it's phenotype. It's a physical expression and
Okay,
characteristic.
whatever, not relevant, but you
Yeah, every time you go
are
out the
not
app,
natural.
every time you go out the
Mutations.
app, we can't hear you. So I didn't hear what you just said.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. You said mutations are not natural. I don't know where that comes from. Mutations are very natural. If you learn about how cellular respiration works, or not cellular respiration, sorry, pardon, gene replication, cellular division, I meant to say, you know that sometimes mistakes are made, not sometimes, every time it happens, there are certain mistakes made, and that's what mutations are. Mutations aren't some unnatural thing that is only the result of like chemicals or toxins or anything like that. Mutations are inevitable for reproducing. So it's really a strange argument that you made there.
What I actually said is that specifically what I said, the genetic mutation that you brought up is unnatural to my people's genome. I never said that it wasn't common for you. I never said that it wasn't common for people outside of us. You do have an excessive amount of recessive genes. So there is going to be problems when your cells go to replicate and divide themselves because none of it is dominant. You're not 100% of anything. That's what the human genome is telling us. You're not 100% of anything if 98% of your DNA is shared with chimpanzees, but 73% of it is also shared with dogs, and 50% of it is shared with bananas, and 13% of it is shared with yeast, and 35% is shared with platypus. And then depending on if we look at the so-called Asian man's genome, your 98% that you share with chimpanzee is 98% with bonobo for him. That's incomplete dominance. So even when y'all procreate with each other, you're unable to make replications and copies of yourself on a biological level, even with your children, because y'all both have different variations of unnatural DNA. We don't see these organisms naturally procreate with each other, right? Because so-called humans are a horizontally genetic transferable species, right? That means that they get all of their genetic material from other organisms. But again, prokaryotes were the only life forms. They only make replications. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to get my notes from the other day from this doctor that I wrote down because he literally said the only way that life can come about on this planet is through vertical gene transfer or horizontal gene transfer. And it makes no sense that humans are here considering that the life forms that predate them are only perform VGT. So the thing is like you're trying to prove the connection between all of us. The problem is that mutation you just explained doesn't happen with so-called black people, and it never has.
That's not genetic differences between races is entirely irrelevant to what you're saying. If anything, that shows that evolution does happen because different phenotypes are selected for by natural selection because of different environments, like you mentioned, skin tone, melanin production, like that. There are genes for melanin production. So that is something that natural selection has acted on. So that's evolution.
That's
Honestly,
not evolution because you're
yes,
not
it is.
explaining the
That's
cellular
the definition of
engulfment.
evolution.
You're not explaining the cellular engulfment between so-called black people and YT to prove how we actually undergo the same genetic mutation. Because again, I keep telling you that we have genetic abnormalities, genetic disorders, right? That might distort the way that our body looks, but you can definitely tell that we're still BOK. You don't see the presence of animal DNA, which means you're not going to see a so-called BOK person with hair like y'all. That's a different species. That's a different organism. So the thing is that's because all of our DNA is dominant. It comes from one embryonic origin. We're 100% of the organism that we are. All right. So now we have antigens attached to our red blood cells. That's because y'all were graping the hell out of us for 4,000 plus years collectively across the globe. You, the so-called Asian man, and what is it, Caucasian, Asian, and Dravidian man. And then everybody else is a byproduct of that, of involuntary mixing because of that. So the thing is y'all want to keep saying that we're the same, but you don't want to acknowledge the fact that when we first came in contact with y'all, why did y'all wipe out 509 million of our people? Why are we still seeing that every single venereal disease on this planet is connected to only y'all's DNA? But our melanin, our stem cells, our adrenochrome is being used to actually cure people. How the fuck is all y'all's DNA, every disease is connected to y'all's DNA, but we're the only ones healing niggas? And you trying to group us the same. Clearly there's a difference in biology. Clearly there's didn't you just say that your phenotype is directly connected to your genes? So why the fuck don't me and you look the same then? That means we don't have the same genetics, which means you proving my point. All right, so I got a new, is it a new guest? No, it's somebody that wants to come up, but they keep timing out. Where is he? Let me send him an invite. Let me get him up here. Go ahead and respond. What's your name? Luca. Interesting name too. Do you like? Did you name yourself that because you like evolution or what? Hello. 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 Hello.
Hey, Sky.
Can
Yeah.
I tell
Who
you
is
how
that?
prokaryotes and eukaryotes
Is that who is
work?
that? Luca. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. I think I might have been muted accidentally.
You were off the
Can
app because you were googling something, huh? And now you
I
finna
wasn't
ask me.
googling
Go
something, but
ahead. Go
can
ahead.
I explain to you? Do you know what the endosymbiosis theory is?
Yep. I keep asking you to prove to me this cellular engulfment.
Okay, great. So, do you know what mitochondrial DNA is?
Yep. Eukaryotes.
Okay, so a mitochondria itself is capable of basically doing everything that an independent organism needs to survive. It creates its own energy. It creates its own, it basically is a cell in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And primitive eukaryotes basically ate a cell like that, didn't fully digest it, and what happened was the mitochondria sort of just was then inside the cell, and then that it would replicate with the host cell, and it was good for both of them. So again, and a way of knowing that this is true is mitochondria have their own DNA. So yeah, that's also, it's not just mitochondria too. Chloroplasts are an example of endosymbiosis. There are a few others. One recently discovered that I can't remember off the top of my head. Also, to address what you said too about how the differences between races. So there are differences between races, yes, but biologically speaking, race does not exist. Race is a social construct in that there is more genetic diversity within a race than there is between races. And to your point, there's more genetic diversity on the continent of Africa alone than the rest of the world. And again, race is stupid. Race is dumb. It doesn't exist in a biological sense. Most of the genetic what we see as race is a very, very small subset of genes. When you're looking at the genetic variation of our entire genome, it paints a very different story. So that's one thing. And another too is that even if we were more different than we are, there still is a certain criteria for being a new species. There are different definitions of species. One of the most commonly used is the ability to reproduce and create fertile offspring. So that's why, different breeds of dog, they can a Great Dane and a Chihuahua can actually have puppies together, as weird as it sounds, and they'll be relatively normal. They'll be able to have puppies themselves. So they're the same species, even though they look very different. But it's because most of that genetic variation is in size and color, and not things like internal organ structure or different proteins and or enzymes and things like that.
Okay, so I already know that race is a social construct, but it's like my sister in the chat said, that was created by your people. That's actually one of your greatest inventions. All
That's
right,
not
so
relevant to. That's not
no
relevant.
over
We're not
talking,
talking.
no over talking, no one over talked you. So let me respond to you, right? Y'all love to try to over talk me as soon as I respond. Nah, let me respond to you, okay? So first of all, you even said it yourself, the mtDNA, the mitochondria has a different origin than the prokaryote and the eukaryote. So how the fuck did it get within its DNA? Okay, that's number one. Number two, prokaryotes don't engulf. They don't engulf because they get their energy from the sun. All right, now y'all have been eating, everybody's been eating meat for thousands of years, and we never seen so-called humans turn into cows because they was eating burgers. All right, so the thing is that you not really explaining this shit well. The mitochondria is an organelle. Prokaryotes don't have that because they have a nucleoid region. They don't have a nucleus, right? So how did two prokaryotes engulf one another to create something entirely different when it's not present within either of their genomes? They are unicellular, meaning that they get their genetic information from one embryological origin. So how does one embryological origin create thousands? Quickly, I need it so I can move to the next guest.
Quickly. Okay, so it does that by engulfing another different kind of prokaryote. That's exactly where that happens. That's like, I don't know how to make it more plain. Like if you have species A that engulfs species B, and then you have the resulting species C is going to have DNA from species A and species B, which is exactly what you see in
No.
eukaryotic cells. So
No, because they're
yes.
not a species A and B. They're the same, they have the same functioning cells. There's truly only two species on this planet.
What?
Organisms that function. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Truly, listen to what I'm saying, because how you function on a cellular level is how you're going to express your DNA. Hello? So technically, there's only two cellular form types on this planet, right? Because organisms either get all their genetic material from one place or get it from multiple. Fuck is you talking about? They can call a cat or a dog a dog. How does it function and how did they get on the planet? Through gene splicing, introgress genetics, genetic engineering, hybridization. Horses, same origin. Cows, same origin. Pigs, same origin. Houseflies, same origin. Lice, same origin. Mice, same origin. But this makes up your DNA. So how the fuck is it that introgress organisms make up your DNA, but scientists can't prove that to be true for me? So of course race isn't real, and this is about DNA and genetics and biology. That's why I'm on here talking about biochemical substances and melanin right now. That's why I'm talking about the genetic and biological differences right now. So you're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous because you're trying to never mind the fact that me and you are not expressing our genes the same way. You keep trying to group us together, but we're not expressing our DNA the same. So how are we the same organism? And you said species A, species B creates a new species. We've never seen that take place in nature. We've only seen that take place with synthetic prokaryotes engulfing another synthetic prokaryote to create something like a eukaryotic organism or a eukaryotic cell. And even then, there are still some synthetic prokaryotes that function just like eukaryotes. So your scientists keep mixing up the titles for shit. That's why we can't go by that, and we have to pay attention to the function. And when scientists look at the functionality of my cells and when they look at your cells, it's not the same. I'll give you an example. Henrietta Lacks, Simi Intoko, okay? Her cells are still replicating in a lab today. Have we ever seen that be the case for your women? No. Thanks for playing, though. I'm finna get to the next guest because there's some other people up here,
Okay,
and
wait,
I'll
no,
come
no, no.
back to
You're
you.
just
I will come back to you, okay? I'll come back to you. You got to let other people speak. All right. JR, evolution, the biggest lie ever told, using
Growler
science. How do
bears.
you?
Google growler bears.
All you had to do was give other people the same respect that you haven't even gave. You keep over talking because it's 25 to 30,000 different genes that want to speak through one nucleus. You have a hard time taming yourself. I understand that. But you're going to have to go deep within that mixed animal DNA. You're going to have to tame that in here because I'm not an animal. So either you're gonna have to get off the panel or you're gonna have to tame that shit that you got going on. All right, so JR, you're on mute. JR 11110.
Yeah.
Go ahead, using science, please.
All right. So your argument is that evolution doesn't exist, right? Or it's a lie? That's what I'm hearing. Hello?
Go ahead.
I'm asking you. So like what's your argument exactly?
It's on the screen.
So evolution doesn't exist, right?
Yes. You don't need to ask me that. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just making sure, bro. So you do know you have a tailbone, right? And wisdom teeth, if you haven't already got them removed, which is like empirical evidence that evolution does exist.
Do you know how to like articulate your point, or are you just gonna
I'm
come up
literally
and
telling
ask
you
me
that they're like
questions?
you have
That doesn't
empirical evidence
explain
inside your own body
evolution.
that
That
evolution.
doesn't
That does
explain
explain
evolution.
evolution. I don't want to
No, it
butt in, but
doesn't,
that
because
does.
it's not explaining a phenotype or genotypic change. So since y'all want to both over talk, I got a treat waiting for that ass by the door. All you have to do is just come up here and explain through science. Don't ask me no questions. You see what's on the screen. Evolution is the biggest lie ever told. Then I read it back to y'all asses. And you still say, you disagree with evolution? Is that what I'm hearing? Answer my fucking question. Animals. So I be talking about, man. You see the behavior in here. You see it. You have a tailbone, wisdom teeth. How does that explain how all life forms on the planet change into something else? How does that prove that? You're talking about a tailbone, but you're still being born with tails. Like, you want to talk about the tail, you want to talk about the wisdom teeth, but you have canines because you have DNA shared with Homo canine. So let's talk about the whole genome. How about that? That's what'll make sense. Yeah, let's talk about the whole genome. Let's talk about genetics. I don't want to talk about anatomy. Tell me what's within the genetics that's making the anatomy express the way that it is. These niggas, man. Look, the brother said raw meat. Hell yeah, raw meat. Y'all can eat raw meat because of your stomach acids. It allows for it. Your stomach acids allow for you to eat raw meat. You need meat and blood from other organisms in order to function. Because you are a eukaryotic cell, you need genetic material in order to function. You need the blood of a chimp, coupled with the blood of a dog, with the blood of a snake, the lamprey, the blood of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes need blood from other organisms to have children, and that's how y'all are too. So that's why y'all can just eat raw meat, because you have cow DNA. So you need that. That's why them Asians, they chicken don't look like nobody else's, because they eating rats and cats. They need that. That's what's within their DNA, 73%. That's not the case for my people. We undergo a fermenting process, right? Because we're more inclined, we need fruits, right? When fruits ferment, they turn into the sugars and alcohols that our cells need to actually function, to properly convert energy from the sun. We really don't even need the fruits. We need the sunlight. Because according to morphic resonance, formative causation, the morphic field that's functioning our cells is so-called black people or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Our people across the globe. You know what I'm talking about. What's functioning our cells is light. They were never able to splice into Henrietta Lacks cells because of the morphic field around them. They could only observe them. All right? They could only observe what was happening. They couldn't cut into themselves because of the morphic field. You need light, magnetofection, racemization, transfection, cell sonication, sonoporation. You need something like that to make a pore formation. But our cells, the electron, because cells are composed of atoms, electrons are in and out of reality. They are conscious. So when splicing takes place, Dr. John Biggerstaff talked about this. When you go to penetrate a so-called black person's cells, Their melanin. Danielle Silverman said, true melanin will not allow for genetic engineering. What you mean by true melanin, though? That's insinuating that these niggas don't have real melanin. Oh, that's what we was trying to tell Kalai. In vitro pheomelanin, in vitro neuromelanin, in vitro eumelanin. That's what you have. That's why you get sunburned. That's why you can't take the sun. All right. So of course, skin color isn't what it's about. All right. So let's see here. I think it's Michael Sims. Did you mean to request up? Did you mean to request up?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
I'm sorry.
You good? All right. Like I said, Luca, I didn't have a problem with you. You just kept over talking me, so you can come out of the request box, okay? Try again another day. I don't do over talking. That's also a part of the prompt. Evolution, the biggest lie we're told, no over talking. That's a part of that. All right? Acknowledge that next time. Isaac, I see you up here.
Yes. Hello.
Using science, tell me how you feel about the prompt.
I feel like it's what you're saying is a lie, but I want to, if it's okay with you, I want you to give me your point and you back your claim up.
Bro,
I could
you
really
just
understand where
fucking
I'm going
heard
with
me
this.
talk. So no, tell me why you
Oh,
disagree
wait, okay, I'm
with the
sorry. Please,
prompt.
wait, just don't kick me out, though. Just don't kick me out. I'm just trying to, like,
Yeah, I was hovering over that disconnect. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, but you won't back yourself up.
You see? You see what I be talking about, y'all? You see how they just want to discredit everything that I'm saying? You can come up here and debunk me. Don't say shit about don't ask me nothing. See, that's the problem. You want somebody to throw you a bone so you can have something to pick. Though people do that when they don't know what they talking about. That's what people do when they say, oh, if she say one word and I know that word, then I can just talk about that and then I'll just sound smart. No. No. Who the fuck you think you playing? Who the fuck you think you playing? Like what? Isaac, I'm gonna give you one last time, okay? I'm gonna give you one last time. Come up here and exactly, they keep Googling facts. You know what I'm saying? Tell me how you feel about the prompt using science. Do not ask me. Mind games, facts. Don't ask me no question, okay? Don't ask me no question. Let's see.
All
Okay,
right,
Isaac loaded in.
yeah, just give me 2 seconds. Hold on. If it doesn't
Rachel.
bother you, just give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
Rachel. Evolution, the biggest lie we're told. Yeah, I feel like you Googling something, Isaac? It's
No, I'm
okay.
not. I'm not googling anything. I just have to take a sound real quick before I talk.
Okay, I got you. Rachel, you hear me? Rachel, biggest lie we're told. Hello? All right, request back up. All right. The Nefera effect. Hello?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Nefera.
Sis, I'm so sorry. I didn't
You,
mean to do that. Forgive me.
okay. It's okay. No worries. Gratitude for coming in. Gratitude for being a part of the conversation. Okay, so I think it is Matt Gibson. Matt Gibson, go ahead. Matt Gibson?
Okay, had to turn my microphone on, I think. Can you hear me now?
Yes, using science. How do you feel about the prompt?
It just really don't make no sense. The one thing that destroys their whole conversation is if we evolved from monkeys, why all the other animal kingdoms haven't evolved? So yeah, it's a big ass lie.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd be fried because our people always come up and say that same thing. Y'all,
Just stupid.
I got you with that, brother. Thank you for sharing that. I
All
got
right, I'm
you.
back. Is it okay if I talk?
Yeah, but you was kind of real close to cutting me off. But go ahead.
Sorry. Um, can we make an agreement though? Can we make an agreement real quick?
Hell no.
All right, fine. All right, fine. Then we'll just argue with signs. I'll argue with signs. All right. So, you know how usually animals with thick fur, or I mean, let me re-say this again. My bad. How animals in cold climates have thick fur. Hello.
Bro, she's not gonna answer you. Just spit, bro.
No, I wanted her to give me a response. I'm trying
She's
to. This is
not.
how arguments
She's
go.
not, bro. You're up here. She's letting you talk. Just spit, bro.
I
She's
I
not
asked
gonna
her.
do it, bro. I'm literally telling you, just go, bro. Just spit, bro.
No, I wanted her to give me a response though. I asked her a question.
Can you
How
spit it out?
Yo, shut up, Isaiah, shut up. Yeah, but all right, I'm gonna say it again. You know how usually
Yeah, see? My other half is in here and he don't play that shit. I was like, damn, who removed him? Baby said moving on. Y'all better come up here and answer my question, man. Y'all better come up here and answer the prompt. All right, so who was next? I think it was actually Shakadelic. Shakadelic. Did you mean to request up, sis?
No, I didn't, and I apologize for that. My fault,
Oh,
and
it's
my
okay.
phone was in my pocket.
It's
Well,
okay,
you
my
here now.
sister.
You gotta
Gratitude for
talk.
come up. Hmm?
Is anybody spending any scientific information?
You want to go ahead, brother, and tell us?
No, I'm here to learn. I know it's a lie, but I like learning information.
Okay, so Coach Auntie, did you mean to come up here?
I did. How you doing?
Greetings.
I just
Welcome.
wonder. I just wonder why these white YT people come on our panels and be doing stuff like that. I've been on a lot. I visit a lot of panels, and they come on and they do stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't, because this evolution right here doesn't look like us. Okay, so this doesn't look like us. We don't have thin lips and all of this. This doesn't look like us. So they need to answer that question for themselves. They irk me when they get on. He was Googling anyway. You could tell he was Googling or doing something, getting in Chat GPT or something. And then he tried to come back and ask you a million questions. That's just what they do. They like to rage bait, and they like to do stuff like that. And I'm noticing they're doing that a lot in our lives, meaning black people.
Yeah,
They doing it a lot.
yeah, they doing it because it's their genetic expression. They express their genes like that. We don't do that shit because it's not within our DNA to do it. A lot of the times, like if you listen to the lives, a lot of time they'll come up here and they'll do ooh ooh ah ah. Why would you do that? That's how I know you connected to animals, because I've been on TikTok for like 5 years. I've never seen any of our people come up to a panel and do that. Even the brainwashed ones, it's not doing that shit.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
hmm
That's because of the difference in the DNA, the difference in the behavior. They know they want to be animals as long as we saying that we animals with them. And that's what I'm trying to get my people out of. We don't, they're proving it every single day that we don't have animal proteins and enzymes.
And they wouldn't have a culture without us. They copy everything we do. They want our music. They do everything. They wouldn't have their own. They don't know how to have their own. They've been stealing for years. Go back hundreds and hundreds of years. They've been stealing, right? So they just keep on. And then they'll come up here, or they'll come on a BOK person's live and try to ask questions. We had one today said, what can I do? What can I do to help you people? Who the hell is you people? What are you saying? That's how they do, though. That's how they rage bait. They do stuff like that. No, I'm not racist. I just really, really want to help. No, Isaac, it's not racist. You need to get your people. You need to get your people. I'm black. I can't be racist. I have nothing. I don't have a hierarchy over anybody. You need to get your people. and leave us alone. Leave black people alone. That's why y'all get your ass whooped all the time. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, it's within their genetic expression to copy. They don't
To
have
steal.
they don't have yeah, it's in their genetic expression to do that because they don't have neuromelanin. And neuromelanin is the core of consciousness. Like the fact that we have rhythm, our circadian rhythm, like all of that is regulated by our pineal gland. They're born with theirs calcified. Which means that they don't produce neuromelanin. That's why they can't dance. That's why they slow at the stoplight. That's why they're known for being slow. Their reflexes are slow because our cells are moving at the speed of light and theirs is not. In their protein synthesis, they undergo something called spliceosomes. They need permission from each in their DNA to actually function. And this is explained when we see with retrotransposons and transposons, jumping genes, homeobox genes. Their genes literally jump. It ejects itself at different points of the DNA sequence and inserts itself at another portion of the DNA sequence. That's why they do shit that they can't explain.
Damn, Scott, teacher, the girl preach on. Keep talking. Shit.
Right.
And Az is here in the
They're
comments
still
talking
there.
about he's really in the comments this time. He couldn't get his thoughts together when he was up here, but he got a lot of mouth in the comments.
Yeah, for real. For real, for real. Yeah, y'all. Excuse me. Cat's out of the bag, though. No pun intended. Seriously, the genetic differences, the biological differences is out. Mel JC, evolution, the biggest lie we're told. Using science, how do you feel about the prompt? Gratitude, my sister.
I think this is an interesting topic, so I'm appreciative of you putting that out there. Have you, because you seem pretty knowledgeable on a lot of, facts here. Have you looked at like the blood types and the Rh negative?
Yep.
So that I agree with what you're saying because my understanding is that because there is Rh negative, that evolution is a big lie.
Would you like to explain?
Because we don't use horse blood, in humans. We don't use other animal blood. We rely on humans to human blood. And like Rh negative, like the O negative folks can only get O negative blood, but they can give their blood to everyone. That's like a whole big blood connection to it. And I'm still learning it as well. But I didn't know if you knew or could add anything because you seem really knowledgeable.
Oh, I'm not up here to teach anybody, especially you, respectfully. If you know about the Rh bud, then I would say research it. I'm not a question box. I'm actually here to have a conversation. You said that it would explain evolution, and I asked you to explain, and now you're asking me a question.
It would explain that it's a big lie because we all don't come from the same blood type. Because we all don't have the negative. We're all not positive. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. We're all not Rh positive. And because we're not Rh positive, everybody, meaning the Homo sapiens, then it cancels out evolution.
Okay, the thing about blood types is that let me explain something with the blood types. All right, now we're here. Now I gotta walk this shit down because all blood types are determined by antigens. And antigens are foreign substances. They trigger immune responses in the body. All antigens are connected to your DNA, whether it be Rh negative, positive, A, B, O. A lot of my people here in the States, they rave about having O positive blood, not understanding that the antigen that determines the O type blood is connected to zooborn chimps and pigs. And that's because over 4,000 years, this woman that I'm speaking to, her people on a global scale were adding these into our DNA. And they are now attached to our red blood cells. So through epigenetics, through the synthesis of old pole to new pole and vertical gene transfer, whenever we're creating our children on a biological level within the woman, we're creating the cell, the outer layer of the cell each time is going to have antigens attached to it because your people wiped out 509 million of our people. All antigens are connected to animals because you guys naturally have animal DNA. You also keep the antigens in check by us going to your doctors, getting medically and psychologically evaluated by y'all. Y'all give us 32 to 34 shots at birth. And these shots have monkey kidney cells. You see what I'm saying? Snake venom, egg cells, or excuse me, worm egg cells. So all the DNA that y'all have is what's within these schmaxines. C19 is connected to an antigen and a conglomeration of them. All the diseases that we see on the planet have been present since 545 AD. Ever since y'all stepped out of them caves is when we began to be plagued by disease. So the thing is that antigens are not supposed to be on the planet because y'all are not. And there were no antigens or blood types prior to y'all being on the planet because it was only one single so-called type of blood, which is neuromelanin, aka sun blood. All right, that's what our sun does is it synthesizes through black body radiation, the sunlight. Y'all don't do that. And because of that, now there's a byproduct of all these different types of diseases. The sun is trying to heal y'all, but you can't take it. And so there's an expression of all these different diseases. So I did a live, I didn't really like it, but it was, you know what I'm saying, the chat wanted to do a live about interracial dating. And that's the reason why I don't recommend procreating with these people, because each time you lay down with them, they're adding antigens to your bloodstream. Every single time a kiss is adding antigens to your bloodstream with these people. Shaking their hands is adding antigens because their microbiome, their skin cells. All right, so it's a lot deeper than what most people are thinking of, but there's DNA that is non-compatible. And that's why when I walk past these people, I hold my breath. I either don't go or I hold my breath. Okay, so the thing is like your point, you're saying that it's trying to prove evolution. It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't
I agree
exactly.
that evolution is a big lie. I think because of the
I was
negative.
actually speaking still.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I'll drop. I just wanted to have a little brief discussion and learn a little bit about the negative. Again, I'm here to learn and what your take on that was. Thank you. You
Yeah.
can drop me.
Yeah, you're not supposed we're not supposed to have antigens in our blood. Okay? Y'all are not supposed to be on the planet. Your blood is antigens. The blood type that you have, antigens, animal DNA, antigen, animal DNA. If you come up here, I will look. I keep telling y'all, don't ask me no questions. So if you're not ready for the truth, don't come up here either. Cause I told you I'm not really here to educate. You know what I'm saying? Especially your people. I'm not finna educate y'all. The fuck y'all know what the fuck y'all doing to our people. Y'all know what the fuck y'all did.
Is that why they be smelling like dogs when they get wet? Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. It is because they share 73% of their DNA with dogs. Yes. Let's see. Who is this coming up?
Hello.
How do you feel about the prompt using science?
I just heard y'all saying some racist shit for real, so I wanted to hop on here because I just wanted to let y'all know the truth of the matter is that we're all human beings. We are all 99.9% these same people. Our skin tone is a mutation, is an adaptation. That's the difference in white people and black people and Mexican people and Arab people, Asian people of any descent. It is a mutation from climate over time. It's different melanin. That is literally the difference.
So the first thing you came up here and said is that you heard something that was racist, but we were discussing DNA. So how was anything that I said racist? That's number one. Number two,
Because
you literally don't overtalk me. Don't overtalk me.
I didn't overtalk you,
Yeah,
Jack.
you're over talking me now. All right. So the thing is that I'm responding to everything that you said. Your remark about gracism is illiterate because we're not discussing grace. We're discussing DNA, genetics, and biology. And specifically, when you requested up, we had just finished discussing the DNA and the biological incompatibility between not just me and you, but all of your people as an entire incomplete dominant species. So the thing is that your scientists are saying that you're a different species than me, but because I'm a so-called black woman, I guess, and I'm saying this and now it's racist. Interesting. But who created racism? You, right? So it's only cool when you do it, but it's not okay when we do it. That's why the discussion is about genetics and biology. Thanks for proving my point. To your last point, I heard you literally say adaptation and mutation. Which one is it? Because those two things are not the same. Evolution and adaptation are not the same things. So when you're talking about a genetic mutation, how come your cells are the only ones that mutate, but mine don't? I need you to answer all three of my questions
Hello.
quickly. Now you don't know how the mute button works. You're saying that the mutations are adapted, but these people are getting tapped by the sun. How have they adapted when they're getting sunburnt every day? How? How are you adapting to an environment? Y'all have, look, according to your theory, you have billions of years, right? You have billions of years and you still not there. You still not there? You a motherfucking lie. These niggas like lying. Y'all know damn well y'all feel sick in that damn sun. I can tell. What? I seen a YT man the other day. It was cloudy, 85, red as fuck. I'm like, what the hell? It's cloudy. He's still recovering from the day when it was 99 degrees and sunny because it takes y'all 24 to 36 hours for your cells to regenerate. But it only takes my people 20 minutes. Who's more fit for the sun? Naturally, according to our genetics. Me. So y'all had all this time to adapt and still can't do it, but you're mutating because of the sun.
Hello?
Hello? Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so now I can speak. Okay, so listen. So, first things first, you're talking about how it's not racist. It is racist. You're literally saying white people have DNA that is not reciprocal to your DNA and that is nasty. That's not even true. You're literally not even, you're just saying things that people are trying to take as facts on TikTok, but it's not facts. No scientist has ever said that our DNA is separate. We're not related to no fucking dogs any more than you guys are.
But you're saying you're a human.
We are. We're also all apes.
Yeah,
Did
so
you know that?
you know how you just said that there's no scientists that have ever proved whatever the fuck you just said?
Yeah, so what the fuck I just said?
You know how you just said whatever that dumbass shit, because I can't, my consciousness don't go there. So that's why I can't do it like you can. All right, you got it. You won with that. Okay, but you just made a statement.
Can I talk? Why do you keep muting me? Can I finish what I'm
You're over talking me. You're not allowing me to respond to you. And you're lying and you're in your feelings. You keep making it about grace and then you keep telling me you don't know what you're talking about. Did I say that to you or did I just respond intellectually? See, genetic expression, behavior, phenotype. All right. You keep talking about no scientists. They're on my page. Danielle Silverman, Dr. John Biggerstaff. Why Darkness Matters, written by 4BLK neuroscientists. They proved it. And Joe Biden used it for his civil rights committee. Kristen Clark used their work to prove the genetic differences to help try to end the social injustices against our people. They're using the talk of genetics to prove why the social injustices should be dropped. Now, I don't know where she was going with that, but I'm glad that the information went viral, that there's a difference within the genetics. Because if it were up to me, if me and you are not genetically the same, we shouldn't be living amongst each other. That's why the sun is separating us now. That's the reason why your people are going underground in these bunkers. That's the reason why y'all under a UV camera, that sunscreen look like an unintentional blackface. That's the reason why y'all police officers be dressed in black from head to toe, because you want to mimic me. But we all the same. Yeah, right, nigga. Yeah, right. Oh, fuck. I'm not even playing with this. I'm never playing. Nicole, do you want to say something?
Hello. Oh, hey. Yes, I'm sorry, sis. My bad. I was trying to ask something earlier. You were talking about the antigens, and I'm in school right now. We've been learning about the blood type and the antigens on the blood type. And I wanted to know if you could just talk a little bit about like the O negative blood. If I have missed it, I apologize. I'm just catching in on the live now, and I just wanted to get your take on it.
So, antigens are foreign substances that are present within the blood. So, it doesn't matter if it's O, A, or B, Rh negative or positive. All of these are unnatural to our blood type. And so basically, when they attach themselves to our red blood cells, this is where we start seeing sickle cell, where the cell becomes sick, or we start seeing diabetes, right? Or we start seeing genetic abnormalities or different blood disorders, right? And it's because of a presence of the antigens that are sending, basically oppressing the cell, so-called oppressing the cell, right?
Right,
Taking the
right.
nutrition out of the cell. It creates these different diseases. It also helps with the communication between parasites in the body as well, because not only do antigens feed off of the blood, but the parasites feed on do the same thing with the antigens and affect the blood the same way. This sends messages to the central nervous system or the brain, and this is why our people are struggling with addiction. We can't come off of meat. We can't come off of chicken. We can't come off of these things. And these things are what the antigens are composed of, animal DNA. So when you eat chicken, when you eat beef, when you eat pork, all of those things that I just named are within their genome and it's attached to your red blood cell. You're feeding the antigens, and this is what keeps us sick. So that's why I advise people to be in a constant state of detox, because antigens are also added to the blood by the nanotech in the air, the bacteria, the germs, aquamated water. They have you bathing in the most disgusting water you could ever think of. If I tell you what's within the water and how they did it, you're not even going to want to wash your hands or bathe. Okay? All of that adds antigens to the blood. And when the blood becomes distorted, the first place you can see it affected is within the phenotype. That's why our people don't give a fuck about our children. We chasing money. We don't care about each other. We're divisive because these things are affecting our genetic expression, right? So we're supposed to be living with each other, living amongst each other in harmony, because neuromelanin needs other, you know what I'm saying, light to function. Electrons pass light to each other, and our cells are made up of atoms. So all of that, the antigens, the parasites, the food, the fact that you're breathing around these people, working, all of that, time, the creation of time, the clock, the calendar, all that is meant to basically put the body in disharmony. It messes with the equilibrium. It goes against the circadian rhythm. And now we begin to age. We begin to go more copper colored. Our skin becomes more rusted. That's why you'll never hear me take pride of having copper colored skin, because that's celebrating oppression. That's celebrating so-called failure. We're not supposed to be these copper color, or because our skin is not supposed to rust. All right. So
Yeah.
that's my full explanation on that. Just like, giving like
Thank you.
overview.
I appreciate that, sis. I just wanted to, get your take on it. I appreciate that. Appreciate what you're doing.
Scott,
Gratitude, my
Scott, can you
reflection.
read Dixon's comment? He said it's not real science. It's black pseudoscience. I think he want to read. I think he wants you to read him too.
Let's see. I mean, you can just come up, Dixon, if you want to. 0 following and 0 followers. That's probably somebody I blocked and they on a backup. That's probably what's going on. That account keeps coming in my live. So somebody said, I think she capping a little too. Well, come up here and explain the cap in what I'm saying. Y'all love yapping in the comments. But the thing is that nobody can explain the science. So I'm wrong, but nobody can explain it. So how you feel about the prompt, Hugh 5ATL and left because you couldn't handle it? The fuck? Yo, yappers, y'all only want to yap in the comments. You can never hang in the box. I know that for a fact. All right, don't say nothing is cap about what I'm saying if you can't explain it. And I only delete people that overtalk me. So cry about it to your mama. All right, so Sab,
Hey, Skywatcher. I'm
greetings.
hey, I think we talked before. You know how I feel about this. I'm just up here in case anybody get any kind of froggy and they want to leap. I'm here to remind them
Me
they
too.
are allergic to sunlight. They are allergic to sunlight, baby. They never explain why they're allergic to sunlight. They always bring up mutation. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. Why does the sun fry them like bacon on Sunday morning? Why are they aging like bananas in sunlight? We are not the same. It's just that simple. And no, I don't want to breathe the same air as them because something in some of them is like a virus and it's like it hops from people to people. When you're around certain kinds that are not like us, it's like it hops from person to person. Like you said, it might be something in the saliva or I don't know what it is, but I don't want to be around it. I'm cool.
Gratitude for sharing that. Gratitude. All right, editor, using science, how you feel about the prompt? Wait, before I get to you, the boy, see, you had a chance, Hugh 5ATL, you had a chance to literally express how you literally feel. You're saying source your knowledge like I don't have books pinned on my page. I don't know when you got here, but I've been dropping, I've quoted at least 20 fucking doctors today. Okay, so don't ask me for my sources unless you got yours, all right? And why the fuck are you following me if it's some cap in what I'm saying? Weird. Editor, go ahead.
Many blessings to you. I appreciate your work. I just wanted to say that there was only one correction. All right. Red blood cells naturally have antigens on the surface. The foreign ones is the ones that we don't want to have. That's the only correction. Is that
I'm sorry,
okay?
what was that? I was reading the comments. What did you say?
All right. The RBCs. Okay. I'm not talking about the white blood cells or whatever. I'm talking about the red blood cells. They naturally have antigens on the surface. That's the only correction I wanted to make for you.
So where do antigens come from?
You're asking me where does antigens come from?
Yeah. What's their origin? You said they're
Ma'am,
natural, so where do they come from?
can I say one thing to you? Because I know you don't like questions and answers. That's
No, I'm
the
asking you a
Q&A.
question.
I understand. I understand
Yeah,
that.
answer it. You
I
don't need to
don't want
ask
to.
a question in return. Just tell me where antigens come from. What's the origin? I can tell you the origin of the red blood cell depending on what organism we're talking about. So what's the origin of the antigens? Where do they come from?
Your
Because
own
he said in
body
the
has self
comments
antigens,
that he was a
ma'am.
real scientist.
Yes, I am. I'm certified in bacteriology, hematology, serology, urinalysis, blood bank, and parasitology. Now, I'm not here to argue with her. I can answer her. I can educate her if she want me to. But in regards to evolution, if you want to stick to the prompt, one thing is adaptation, is what I stated in regards to UV radiation, adaptation, genetic differences, which are small. Someone mentioned 99.9% sharing DNA is correct. Let me see, all humans continue to evolve over time. Adaptation is where it's at. I can get into all of that, but there's no need. Inherited traits, etc. I don't have anything against what she's saying, but I am just saying in regards to antigens, they all have them on the surface. And that's all I wanted to say, if that's okay with you.
According to antigens, they all have them on the surface. What? What are you talking about? According to antigens, they all have them on the surface.
Yes,
Antigens
they
are
do.
on the surface. What are you
Red
talking
blood
about?
cells, the red
Okay,
blood cells
okay,
have antigens on the
okay.
surface, ma'am.
So
Your own
where do
body
the
has self,
antigens come from?
your
Because it's on the
antigens.
outer. Hold
You have
on.
two main sources. Listen,
Antigens.
okay. You have two main sources. Okay, you talked about bacteriology and stuff like that. I'm certified in it, but you have two different sources. You have one on your body, which is the self antigens, the genes that instruct the cells. Blah 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 blah. I don't want to get into that. You have one on the outside of your body, which is the foreign antigens in regards to bacteria, virus, fungal, parasites, pollen, etc. Now, we can get into that, but I don't want to get into that. We could talk about Tina Saginata. We could talk about the Koch Potlets. We could talk about bacteria. We could talk about whatever you want to talk about. We could talk about Tina Saginata, Tenosolium. We could talk about whatever you want to talk about. Gram staining. But I'm quite sure I'm going to lose you with Koch Potlet. Okay? Because you're not going to be able to tell me the morphology of a basophil, eosinophil,
You don't know
monocyte,
what the
lymphocyte, and
fuck I'm
typical
gonna be able to
lymphocyte.
tell you.
No,
See, that's the shit I
well,
don't
you're
do.
talking.
See, now you're being disrespectful. You don't know me. You don't know what I've studied. You don't know who I am or nothing. I'm not doing that to you. I asked you a simple question. Where do the antigens come from? You don't need to tell me so much. You wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. You can know, so just tell me, goddamn. Tell me and answer my fucking question, man, because only men come in here and try to be condescending to a woman. Answer my motherfucking question. Y'all be pissing me off, man.
Hey, can I say something real quick? Hey,
No, disconnected. Don't over talk and don't try to speak up for another grown man. Let him fucking answer my question. Y'all love doing that. I'm tired of this shit with the men. Go ahead and answer my question. You're on mute. Answer my question. Where do the antigens come from? It don't matter. Tell me it don't matter which antigens. So we can talk about that. Tell me where the antigens come from. If you could, now you don't know how to work the mute button. Work that mute button, okay? Come off mute and tell me.
They are inherited from your parents, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Oh,
There's
Okay,
two
thank
types,
you.
and then you
Didn't
have
I? Hold
some on the
on. No,
outside
no,
of
no,
your
no, hold
body. I
on. You
was
answered my question. You answered my question. You said they come from the parents, right? They come from the parents. Where where do you get your genetic material from? Your parents, right? And you're composed of cells which stem back to an embryonic origin, correct? I just need you to answer my
You
questions
keep
yes or no.
muting me, ma'am. You
Yeah,
keep
I need
muting
you to
me.
answer the questions
I
yes or
just
no.
answered your question. They
Okay, they
come
come from
from
the
your
parents.
parents. That's the
And
one
where do
part.
your
The
parents
other
get
part,
their DNA
the
from? What
other
is their
part is
embryonic
it comes from
origin?
the outside body, which is the foreign antigens, which you were speaking about before, which is bacterium, which are viruses, which are fungi, which is parasites, which is pollen, which is etc. on certain foods, etc. There's two types where they come from. Now, I just answered your question. Now, give me the morphology of 3 white blood cells.
Why are we talking about white blood cells when we're
Give
having a
me
discussion
give me the
about,
morphology of a red.
boy, I don't know who the fuck you think you is. You running from my main question.
Give me the
We're
morphology
talking
of a red blood
about,
cell.
I'm
Give
finna
me the
drop you.
morphology
I'm finna drop you because you didn't answer my question. Number
because I'm
one,
a true
we're
scientist.
talking about red blood cells. Why are you talking about white ones? Hello?
because he wants to argue.
Okay, I'm
Give
a
me the morphology
complain.
of a red
The
blood
over
cell.
talking is finna piss me
Give me
off,
the
all right?
morphology of a red blood cell.
Thank you. Thank you. A morphology of the red blood cell comes from the genome. What are you talking about? I'm asking you. I'm telling you, every cell in the body comes from the same embryonic origin. That's basic. An antigen is foreign substance to the DNA. Why do you think I'm asking that? So just because you see it does not mean it's supposed to be there. I just explained to him or whoever the sister I was talking to that when we procreate, because of the presence of them, it will get copied and passed to the child. That doesn't mean that we're natural producers of them. And you want to try to move the goalpost and say, where does a white blood cell? Baby, talk to me about the RBCs. We talking about antigens. Antigens don't attach themselves to the white blood cells like they do RBCs. She asked me about antigens. We talking about the blood. Y'all gotta stop. You're saying you're a true scientist. I don't look, baby, this is 5th grade science, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. A 10-year-old can do this. I can call my 11-year-old cousin right now and she can tell you the functionality of a prokaryote and a eukaryote. Biology, 9th grade, I'm a scientist. Which one? See, that's my thing. A scientist don't just say, I'm a real scientist. They tell you I'm a chronobiologist. I'm a geneticist. I'm a cell biologist. I'm a forester or whatever the type of branch of science that they're well versed in. Niggas that know real science don't say I'm a fucking scientist. They tell you what fucking science that they're into. Oh, fuck, y'all be trying to play with my top, man, and I'm not the one for that. Cause I don't do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a scientist. Cool. Cool. Which one? Which branch? Fuck. Like, I don't do disrespect either. I just told you no. Where do white blood cell? Boy, please. This live is about evolution. Greatest lie ever told. You shouldn't even came up here with that shit any motherfucking ways. We talking about the prompt. We talking about the prompt. Stop deflecting. Yeah, stop deflecting. We talking about how the fuck did haploids turn into diploids of another species. This nigga want to talk about white blood cells. Baby, we is not on that, okay? You moving the goalpost. We not even on that. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. You see what I'm saying? Now they saying I'm ghetto, but they won't talk about how he was disrespectful, overtalked me, how he was insinuating I was condescending, told me I didn't know what I was talking about. He tried to use his degree against me. Men taking up for men. I love it. Men taking up for disrespectful shit. I know my man don't do that. He can tell you where he come from. Respect. He know himself down to the atom, down to the cell, and he don't have to be disrespectful to a woman to tell you that. Fuck. He like playing. And I'm gonna say this too. That over talking, I don't care how, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to say, do not over talk nobody up here. You know what I'm saying? Do not over talk nobody up here. They can call me a Igor, hard R, bitch. Let them get it all out. Don't over talk them though. Let them show they ass. When another brother or sister is talking, be respectful. Value their energy. Let them speak whether you disagree or not. Don't just let them show their DNA. You show your divinity too. Respect another brother or sister, y'all. I don't do the panels like everybody else with all the over talking, and here we respect. I gotta stop playing with that shit. My bad. My sister, Miss Sean, did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing, Miss Sky?
Gratitude, greetings, welcome in.
Thank you. I've been in your life for 2 days. You know what? No matter what we say, what we do, they is not gonna change. I just seen somebody in the comment call us porch monkeys. No, you the human, you the porch monkey. I want to know what a porch. That shows y'all true reflection of what y'all is right there. We ain't called you no type of name, and you sat there and called all us black people porch monkeys. What that show you is. Because I feel like you're more the porch monkey than we are. You see, I got 23 grandbabies and stuff like that. I teach them well. We getting judged by our colors. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna never accept us. And no, y'all not human. Y'all is human. I'm sorry. Y'all the humans, because human, if you know the real definition of a human, that's what y'all are. I'm just saying. I appreciate you for your platform, baby. I'm going to drop down, but I just wanted to say that because that y'all very much disrespectful. Very much ain't got no sense. Use some brain cells, y'all. That's what you do. Thank you, baby.
Gratitude, my sister, for sharing those kind words. Yep, and eating them up. Because why you always saying porch monkey? You must think you a monkey, because you got to hear that in your head before you say it to me. That must how you feel about yourself then, right? Because I don't talk about monkeys and shit all day. I talk about the sun. I talk about my cosmos, my watermelon, my wild cucumber. What else is out here? My tomatoes. I talk about neuromelanin. I talk about the stars. You see what I'm saying? Kepler 45b, Uranus, Venus, Cygnus 45. I talk about nature, right? Because that's who I am. Nobody finna talk about no damn monkeys. Gratitude, my sister. All right, astronomically beautiful. Go ahead, my sister.
Gratitude, sister. Oh, so I listen to your live every time I see you're on, but I got up here accidentally. I apologize. I apologize. You can drop me.
Oh, it was
I'm
an
busy.
accident.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Gratitude. I want to address this comment. Somebody said, "Why do you hate men?" First of all, F1 in the chat. That was a setup. This TikTok live is for educational purposes only. I didn't mean to say the H word. Let me say schmate. Okay, for TikTok, you know how they be. So the thing is that I love our men. What I said was men like that. And then I gave you an example of a great one and I talked about my other half. So y'all don't actively listen. Y'all don't actively listen. The reason why I'm live right now is to pass the truth to the next generation. Because every sister that's in here has children within her. She has totipotent stem cells. All right. Those are the children. I'm already talking to the next generation. All right. When I talk about this, I'm always talking about our children and making sure that when you come up here and you articulate, if you can articulate it to me, you can put it in layman's terms for a child. That's why I do it. So how could I schmate men when I birth them, when they're within me, when it's my duty to pass the knowledge to our girl children and our boy children, to the feminine and to the masculine star seeds. It's my responsibility. I never said that I schmate him. That's not even within my auric field. That's not even within my morphic resonance. I said I don't like the behavior. I said this would I be talking about, because I do be talking about that. Condescending. Y'all love, why do you this, why do you that? Why did he cut me off and show his ass? Why y'all not asking that? Y'all be playing. All right, y'all be playing. All right, so Andy.
So I'm kind of confused here. Can you like go over that one more time?
No.
What do you mean no? Dork?
Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Using science, how do you feel about the prompt?
Evolution is not the biggest lie ever told. Are you like actually insane?
You see? Proving my point. You see what I just said, y'all? You see what I'm saying? He could just intellectually debunk me, but he didn't already call me a dork and then said something about me being dumb.
Because I asked you to reiterate what you said one more time and you just
Fuck out of here. The fuck? You need it because you're dumb, right? You need me to say it again because you didn't get it the first time. Gene expression. Thank you. Underdeveloped frontal lobe. The fuck? If you need somebody to repeat it once, how are you calling them dumb, dummy? The fuck? These people, man, I'm over here like, what? All right, y'all. This is a mess. I'm finna post this on YouTube. Look, matter of fact, this one, I'm actually gonna source it, put some stuff on the board for you. I'll do that with this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to explain this phenomenon that I wrote down earlier from this scientist. And I can't exactly find it right now, but I want to put that in. I want y'all to see that. So I will put that in there for you. Yeah, facts. Here it is. Because a scientist said this dumbass shit, and he debunked himself. He said he speculated that culture had to be the reason for evolution. Could you believe that dumb shit? He said things don't evolve, and the only explanation for it is culture. Revoke his shit right now. And by the end of that documentary, he debunked himself. There's no explanation for how these people got on the planet except for genetic engineering. As a matter of fact, astronomically beautiful. I hope she don't mind me putting her on the spot. Sorry, sis. But we were talking earlier today, right? And she had sent me a scientist that literally said evolution is false. There must have been some sort of genetic intervention. They say this every day. They say it every day. That's why I'm looking at these people. I'm like, yo, they debunk evolution every day. Literally every single day a new scientist comes out. Or one scientist will say something, another scientist will peer review it and look at it and then prove or debunk whatever branch of science he's in. So I think y'all not looking at the DNA close enough. All right, so let's see. I'm getting close to probably heading out. So if you want to come up now. You know, because I'm getting close to being done. Mo Mick, go ahead using science, my brother. Go ahead. Did you mean to request up? Probably not. All right. A Lewis. I feel like I've talked to this account before. Let me see. Is it an accident or you meant to come up? A Lewis. You got to email is your alewis1332@gmail.com. You're on mute. Go ahead. Must be an accident. 1, 2, 3. Going once, twice. Okay. All right. It looked like you was finna come off mute. I'll send you another one. Yeah, y'all, while we're waiting for that, Coach Auntie, did you have something else you wanted to add? Mm-mm. Okay. Okay, gratitude, my sister. Miss Shawn, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, baby, I'm gonna be coming in your live regular because you got some rude people in here, baby, and I'm on one just like they on one. I'm behind my people 110%. What we got going on now, y'all ain't gonna come on no panels doing that.
Talk
I
to
mean
me.
that. I'm dead serious. Oh I take on GTA. I ain't mean to say that. I'm sorry, baby, but I do know y'all ain't gonna be disrespectful to her on her panel.
Okay. Thank you. Gratitude, my sister. My YouTube is linked in the bio. If you go to my bio, it should take you straight there. You're gonna see conversations that I've had with people from a year ago. You're gonna see how much I've expanded, my progression, how maybe at first I was pronouncing something wrong, but I knew exactly what I was talking about. I never gave up on myself. These people talk shit all the time, but I just study myself every single day. I study the universe every single day. And now I've worked my way up to literally debunking these people. And I mean it. I really wish I had that live where I debunked that kinesiologist and she told me hats off. She told me and my other half and the other people we were live with the same thing. Because we know exactly what we're talking about. We do. And the scientists do too. So the base premise of evolution, y'all, is basically they're trying to prove how we turn into a different species. It's basically trying to prove how natural organisms on this planet created abominations, created unnatural organisms. And that's basically trying to lie on our mother. That's trying to lie on the universe. That's trying to lie on Earth. That's trying to lie on biogenesis, right? So we're literally the fabric of the universe, ubiquitous and an amorphous species. And these people are not that. All right. So we didn't create them. I know a lot of people try to talk about Yakub. Yakub means subplanter. It don't mean big-headed black man. Y'all got to stop that, okay? Because that's a Hebrew story, and in Hebrew that translates to subplanter, all right? Eukaryote or eukaryota, animalia, the eukaryotic cell means true-seeded nucleus. That means that a subplanter seeded a nucleus on this planet within the cells. And that's why we see in the Sumerian text, there's an entity creating the eukaryotic cell. All right, that's what the story of Noah's Ark, the rounding up of two animals, is talking about for genetic engineering to take place. Genetic engineering has been taking place longer than the scientists want to openly admit, but there's a good grip of them that do. They're just probably not as mainstream as you think, right? But I have two scientists on my page that really break it down. Really, I mean everything. The origin of the eukaryotic cell and how you can't splice our cells. I would advise every so-called black person in here, if you can at least get your hands on the sample, if not, get the entire book, Why Darkness Matters. It's written by 4 of our people that are scientists. Dr. Richard King is a psychiatrist. You see what I'm saying? They're all neuroscientists and they've come together to write this book. And nothing that's stated within that book has been debunked. All right. Melanin, What Makes Black People Black, written by Dr. Layla Africa, is another great one. It's only 60 pages. All right. I have several books pinned on my page because this is a discussion that connects all branches of science together. Right? You do have to look into how stars express their DNA, right? There's actually, all stars are composed of the same genetic material with a 0.2% difference. And that 0.2% difference still shows that they stem from the same embryonic origin. It's just a uniqueness that each star chooses to express. That's why stars have different luminosities, right? That's why it's important for you to lock in with yourself and make sure you shine how you're supposed to shine. Right? All stars don't have the same luminosity, but they're all responsible for shining. Lock in with yourself. Know thyself. That's the number one rule in the cosmos, right? Of the Hermetic laws and the universal laws, the number one is the law of oneness. Universe. One song. When this grid shuts down, you're going to hear that the universe is loud. Right now, you can't really hear all the organisms, all the plants, animals, and insects because of light pollution, sound pollution, something that's actually polluting the sound waves that are being received by the auditory cortex and the temporal lobe. All right. So I can talk about this all the time. Somebody was like, no, don't leave. Y'all better start hosting y'all own lives so I can come in there and take a break. Hell, no, I'm just playing. But real spill though, we each got to be able to talk about this information because we must pass it to the next generation. That's how we get out of this. All right. If you know that your genetics don't align with this system, don't align with everything that these people are created, then we should be using our genetics and pouring back into each other. That's how we get out of this shit. We can't keep choosing this system that we're in. All right. So facts. She said, I'm still taking my notes. I got you. Keep learning. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, what in the word salad? That's because you don't understand it. The words are not word salad to people that understand them. Thanks for being loud and wrong. Thanks for telling me that what I'm saying is going over your head. Because I guarantee you, if I had this discussion with a cell biologist, they wouldn't say word salad. Somebody said, we love you, sister, and I'm learning so much. I love you too. I love my people all over the globe. And facts, make sure that you teaching the children. Monarch, it's so good to see you. This is my new page. So, you see what I'm saying? They took my main page. They banned it. I lost all my data. And now I'm on this one. I'm not naming the books because they're on my page. All right? Please check my page. All right? My sister said law, facts. You feel me? Somebody said evolution exists in many forms every day throughout time. Except you wouldn't be able to explain the base premise. You just saying evolution. All right? And somebody said love the books. Yep. Gratitude. Gratitude. Somebody said I need to go get it. Facts. Then YT people evolved to be pale, right? Yep. All right, y'all. If nothing else, I'm trying to think if I'm going to stay on here or leave. Anybody else want to discuss the science? Not that y'all really did. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, y'all. These people did not.
Much of a science whiz, baby, but I can come up in here and talk some mess too.
No, I'm talking about the YT people. They didn't really discuss no real science. You see what I'm saying? And remember, y'all, abundance prokaryotic. Remember, y'all, that you don't have to purchase them. I would like for you to get to the point because they are getting rid of books. The AI companies are actually destroying books right now. So I would say make sure you get paperbacks as much as possible. But if you can't right now, that doesn't mean that you stop learning. All the books that are on my page, like 70-80% of them, I started out on PDF. Better learn how to work them VPNs. Hop on a Chinese server. I use Japan and Canada. The number one server that I use for my research is Canada. I use Canada and Russia. Those are my top two. Canada and Russian servers really give you the business. All right. So when it comes to the books, a lot of people say, well, I got on the internet and I didn't find that source because it was in Russia. That's why. It was in China. Okay. I got it from them. That's why. All right. And don't tell nobody. Keep that between us. Okay. So somebody said, girl, you talking and not getting anywhere. Come debunk me. The fuck? Just come debunk me. That's it. You saying I'm talking, but I've been here for almost 3 hours. You just got here. I seen when you came in the room. Somebody says Scribd is free. Facts. Scribd is free. I use Scribd. I use Ancient Archives. There's one Ocean PDF. You gotta get that one. If you don't get anything else, you can find almost every book in the world on there. Don't tell nobody. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that is because whenever there's a lot of traffic, it gets shuts down. All right, and then you have to wait till the new link pops up. It's just like the anime sites. It's just like how them anime websites is, and I just got into anime in the last year. That's tough. That's really breaking down our DNA the best way that I've seen it. Anime does it better than the movies by far, right? Because these people can be more creative with the cartoons and the animations to really express everything. So if you want to know about elements, if you want to know about splicing for real, they talk about it a lot in anime. Yeah. Yeah, my brother say anime been telling the truth, facts. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, library archives, facts. Somebody said, look at this Robinette ass nigga. Why would you keep coming back day after day, bro, if you don't agree? John Baptiste has a book on the theory of transformation, inheritance, and acquired traits. Your point? That's actually that nigga that you're talking about right there did a terrible ass number on our people. The fuck? A terrible nigga was terrible to our people, and you bringing him up. See what I'm saying? When it comes to reading their books and stuff, you do have to use your first eye because they mix the truth and the lie good. It be mixed in there good. Ooh, what y'all talk about? Okay, I'm finna watch that Full Metal Alchemist because y'all keep saying that. I need to watch that one. I love Hunter x Hunter. That's the one right there. Don't judge me, but I like Baki Hanma because he uses anatomy to fight, and he's 13 and he can whoop anybody because he understands anatomy. You see what I'm saying? My homegirl trying to tell me it's not even that good. Yes, it is. It's science as fuck because they're able to outthink their opponent because they understand how the body works. And the same thing that they were talking about in Baki Hanma is actually what they're using underground in these wrestling matches. A lot of the wrestling matches and stuff like that take place underground because they're trying out their genetic engineering, these different synthetic humanoid species and stuff like that they're using in the WARs when they go to Shmore, WAR. Yeah, they test that out in underground fights. And that's what Baki Hanma actually exposes to. Somebody said, OMG, bro. Try bleach for gene splicing. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. Baki is tough. Yeah. Let's see. A. Lewis is requesting back up. Maybe his mic is working now. Let's see. I still see the same 3 people. Look, all right. I'm just gonna put y'all up here, man. Y'all been in here. Y'all been requesting up literally for an hour and 15 minutes. I seen you. All right. So, A. Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing. A lot of people don't understand what you're doing. Especially a black woman fighting against you because of I don't know what it is, jealousy or something. But keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right work. Okay.
Gratitude for sharing that. Gratitude. Thank you for that. And Isaac, gratitude, my brother, for sharing that. A. Lewis, Isaac, what is you
Yes.
saying? Because he literally uses anatomy to fight all of his opponents. They all are well versed in anatomy. That's how they fight each other. What are you talking about?
I mean, if you consider, obviously, throwing punches is anatomy, but have you seen any of Baki's relatives and how they're built and stuff like that, and how accurately it depicts anatomy?
I'm not here to really talk about anime. I was just saying that because I was about to end the live. So what are you?
You
Are you
literally
want
brought
to?
it up.
Yeah, because
You literally brought it
okay,
up.
look, this is why I didn't want you up here, bro. He uses anatomy to his knowledge of anatomy to know where to punch, to know where to dodge, to know where to hit the different bones, his rib cage, whatever the fuck. What is you talking about? He plays it out in his head first and understands the different pressure points. What is you talking about? In order for you to understand pressure points, you got to understand reflexology, which is what the show is about.
That's understandable. That's
Yeah,
understandable.
so stop
Have
telling
you
me I don't know what I'm
have
talking about.
no, I'm not. But
The fuck?
have you seen Dragon Ball? Have you seen Dragon Ball Z?
Bro, I'm
Cause
you're fucking playing. I'm not up here to be your fucking friend and shit. I don't give a damn about that. I was talking to my people. I wasn't, yeah, this wasn't a kumbaya moment. I'm talking to them. I'm talking to my brothers and sisters. Nigga thought this was we was finna talk about. No.
They literally cannot help themselves. They have to be in our space. They have to be in our world. They cannot help themselves. They cannot.
Yeah, they want like, oh, like, no,
You seen
no,
Dragon Ball
nigga, you're
Z?
not. Yeah, you're not supposed to be on the planet, bro. Period. You're not. We're never getting away from that, bro. Nigga want to talk about Dragon Ball Z. Yeah,
The fuck?
no. Yeah, nice try, nigga. Energy harvesters, facts. Yeah, y'all, you seeing it in real time, man. They have to center themselves. Let's get this, Andy. Come on, Andy.
Yo, you are not letting a single person speak their opinion. You kicked the last guy out for talking about anime, which was the exact thing you have been doing for the past 30 minutes, and saying, "Oh, I'm not here to be your friend." What is up with you?
I've been live for.
You asked people.
Let me
Your
help
ass
you
off.
out.
Excuse my French, but she could kick you off. This her panel, this her room, this her house. You stepping on her rug.
Yeah, I've been live for
You
3
don't like it?
hours.
Go.
Yeah,
You don't
so
like it? Go.
yeah, I've been live for 3 hours,
Bye bye.
Andy. So he was in here earlier. That's why, okay? He's been here the whole 3 hours, but you haven't. So since you're a new guest using science, tell me how you feel about the prompt. Stop trying to piggyback off of everybody else and discuss your feelings. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not discussing my feelings. You've been asking people to disprove you for like an hour already, and you don't let anyone speak. Just
Can you
like your
do
friend
it?
that muted me. You
I
mute
gave you
me
the
and you
floor
don't let
and
me
you
speak.
still
You
are talking about
continuously
your
cut me
feelings.
off. You're continuously cutting me off.
I gave you the floor and you still haven't told me your science. You're talking about the feelings of another man. Go ahead and
No, I'm
answer
trying
the
to show how
prompt.
you're unfair.
Go ahead and answer the prompt. I keep telling you to do that and you keep trying to talk about something else. I'm giving you the floor. Answer the prompt using science.
Yo, on God, you and the 3 other people in here are fucking idiots, dude.
And
So
no,
you
that's
can't answer the prompt?
your mom. Yeah,
So
you cool. That's your mom though. Ain't nobody else on this panel. That's your mama. You speaking of your people, not ours. Get on somewhere. Since we all that, you go.
Why
Bye.
are
Bye
you in
bye.
here?
Exit out. It's a button up at the top right there. It got an
Kick me
X. You know
out.
how to
Kick me
read,
out.
right?
Fuck,
You
bro.
know
You
how
don't
to
let no
read,
one
right?
speak.
You
You
know how
only let people
go
talk.
start your own panel, brother. Go start your own panel. You don't like what you hear, go do your own shit.
Why would you sit in a live for 30 minutes and you don't agree? And then I gave you 4
Because you're
different
talking
chances to.
bullshit. That's why I don't
Oh,
agree.
you're talking bullshit. I'm about to
Because they have to
cry.
be in, they have to interject themselves in our conversation. They have to be in our space. They have to. They have to be around us. They have to be in our space. It's really sickening and tiring.
Yeah, like they
It's a
just have
state of
to.
control. I believe it's a state. I'm sorry, baby. It's a state of control. They try and have control of every single thing. That's exactly what that is.
Facts. You would not still being alive. You didn't agree with stuff, and if you do, you're proving my point.
Wait a minute,
Jr.
somebody in the comment said chimps are angry. Yes, y'all
Mhm.
are. Yes, y'all are.
Jr. Using
Yeah,
science.
hello.
How do you feel about the prompt?
See, what I feel about the prompt is I feel like it doesn't make sense at all. And
Using
I believe it
science.
doesn't make sense is because there's enough proof in the own human body as to why evolution does exist.
Didn't I already talk to you today?
Yes, you did, and you kicked me as soon as I said one wrong thing.
No, it's because you were over talking me. I only kick people for over talking. I don't kick y'all for no other reason. We will talk for 4 hours as long as it's respectful. So using science, explain what you just said.
We have tailbones in the human body from our ancestors. We have ear muscles from our ancestors. 10% of about like 10 through 20% of the human body has certain arm muscles or hand muscles that were used for gripping. That's from our ancestors too. There's proof in the human body as to why like evolution does exist. Wisdom teeth too.
Okay, evolution is a genotypic change over time, and it's this genotypic change still connects all organisms on the planet. So how does the wisdom teeth and the tailbone that you're talking about explain how chickens are on the planet? How
Humans
does
aren't
it?
related to chickens. I can't really explain how wisdom teeth and chickens relate.
Oh, are you sure? Because I can name you the percentages that humans share with chickens. What is you
Yeah,
talking about?
we don't share any phenotypes with chickens like at all.
But it's within your genome, just like cows are, horses, pigs,
Do you
dogs.
do you know what the definition of a phenotype is?
Yeah, it's your physical characteristics that's
Okay, so
expressed
how
in
is a
your
chicken
genes.
and a human gonna have a phenotype
Okay,
that's
so
shared?
listen to me. Listen to me. I'm talking about the fact that you share DNA with chickens just like you share DNA with dogs. It's the same fucking thing. It's incomplete dominance. So the better question is, how did these organisms get within your genome if they have introgress genes?
We get the genes that the chickens have and that are shared with humans. They aren't being expressed, so I'm not sure how you want to relate wisdom teeth to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. How does what you're saying prove that? How does
Because
what how does
we
this
had
prove
the.
the connection between all life forms on the planet?
I'm not trying to prove the connection. Not every life form comes from every life form. There was not one singular life form that all Earth that everything came from.
So then how is evolution true then?
How is
Huh?
evolution? Because there was not just one singular species that everything came from. There was at once there was hundreds of different ones. This is ninth grade science.
Hundreds of different ones of what?
Of singular cell organisms.
Prokaryotes?
Yes, prokaryotes.
And prokaryotes have a single embryological origin, correct?
Sure.
Which means that they get all of their genetic material from one origin, correct?
Go along with you, sure.
Okay, so if humans are so-called horizontally genetic transferable type species, how the hell is there a connection between prokaryotes and eukaryotes if prokaryotes only make copies of themselves? They only make replicas. And they were the
No one.
first life forms on the planet.
Prokaryotes, and there's many different theories as to why they're related. No one knows for sure though.
Oh,
It
okay.
happened. It
Thanks for
happened
proving my
millions and
point.
billions of years ago.
So why would you come up here if no one has been able to prove it? What are you
Because
trying to debunk?
because evolution is obviously true. It's just the original. It's just you can't prove how the original like multicellular organisms came to be.
So then how
Because
is evolution true if we can't be proven?
evolution is true by your. Are you sitting down right now?
Answer my question.
Are you sitting? Are you sitting down?
Are
Because if you're
you
sitting down,
my
you're sitting down your
question?
tailbone that came from your ancestors, which prove evolution is true.
But
I'm
me and
telling you,
you
you
don't
can't
have the
be.
same so-called ancestors.
We don't. Yeah, me and you have the same. We have the same ancestors because we're both Homo sapien.
But you couldn't prove that, correct? Because prokaryotes don't create eukaryotes. Isn't that what you just said?
Prokaryotes don't prove.
Yeah. So
There's no.
haploids only create diploids of the same species. It doesn't create a
There's.
different
I'm
species.
like, you're trying to prove something that can't. That's literally never been proved. You can't
Exactly.
prove.
That's why evolution is the biggest lie we're told. Thank
Or wait.
you. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Y'all keep proving my point.
That was
Thank
good.
you.
That was good, sis. That was good, sis. That was good,
Got him.
sis.
You ate that. You ate him up. You ate him up. You got him.
Why would you request back up for it again? Like, you want to prove your existence that bad, bro? Damn. Damn. I gotta clip this shit. Nigga trying to say this is ninth grade science. It's actually fifth grade. A 10-year-old can do it. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Not.
What? This is a mess. Oh my gosh, man. Ugh. It's
This
no
is yikes on
way.
bikes. Yikes on bikes.
This is a mess. No one can do it. Why do you think the prompt is evolution is the biggest lie we're told? Because we cannot prove the base premise. It's never been seen in nature. Nature doesn't do it, then who the fuck is? Come on, man. Yeah, he was anxious as fuck, stuttering and shit. He was like swallowing hard as fucking shit. Like, what the hell? All right, y'all. I don't think there's anybody else in the request box. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody's up here. Who is this? Alec? Who is that?
That's A. Lewis. That's the brother that was just talking a minute ago. Isaac, you cannot just request up just because I said that. I'm not accepting that. Somebody say, you people believe the world is flat. Boy, this is about evolution. Where you get that from? No one is talking about the flat earth theory, so why would you say that? Do you see how they want to center themselves?
Always.
Let's see. Metaphysically, the woman created this realm from her blood. Okay, I think it's Chef C. Go ahead. Greetings. Chef C, did you mean to come up? Probably not. It's probably an accident. All right, so the only other person in the chat is Isaac. So we're done, y'all. Unless somebody else wants to come up and debunk me. You see what I'm saying? But JR couldn't do it. Who else couldn't do it? Everybody that was up here.
Nobody.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like a couple more minutes just in case. Just in case. See what I'm saying? What is it?
Somebody in the chat said we want more.
Max, using science, how do you feel about the prompt?
I feel like it's kind of not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, because like I feel like we have like so much proof to like to show it happened.
Okay, what's the proof?
Wait. Oh yeah, the fossils. Yeah, fossils. Human remains show that we evolved from like something like like yeah.
What? Human remains? What? Like, can you explain yourself, please?
Huh?
Okay. So like human well science shows that the human body has evolved to what it is now.
Okay, I don't understand. You're not really explaining yourself. Yeah, and you left because you knew you wasn't doing a good job. All right, so let me go through. Sean Hazel, using science, how do you feel about the prompt? You're on mute. Sean Hazel, 459. All right, Vanessa, using science, how you feel? Or Sean,
You
you
hear me?
hear me? Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
How you doing? First of all, how y'all doing today?
Greetings.
I believe the prompt is true, and reason why it's true is because we all come. And if you look at the three types, right, and I'm listening to what you just said, we come from eukarya. So if we come from eukarya, you have, you know what I'm saying, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. All right. So the differences between the eukaryotes, and you said phenotype, right? Then we all have eyes. We all have a method of breathing, produce, and we can eat, excrete. So basically that we are. Now, everybody don't study ninth grade science. It's a little more complicated than that. If you took honest science, you're going to know a little bit more. Like, you know a little bit more than a lot of these people that's going to come in this panel. So, you know what I'm saying? In that conversation, I know for a fact. So, has the human body evolved? We were made up of one single organism, but we still, as all time together, a chicken can excrete, a chicken can breathe, it can reproduce, and it can also it can eat. So therefore, we know that then in the phenotype, we are all related. and that's just that's what I got to say. What if
My brother, your mic is breaking up.
me to are y'all out of sun? We do know what that is.
Okay, I'm gonna come clean. I heard you say that you were eukaryotic, and that's not even true. You don't have animal DNA or proteins or enzymes, so I don't know how you think you share DNA with chickens.
What? No. Why don't we all have? Listen to me. In the phenotype, we do. We also we do have enzymes. We have that's what
Animal enzyme.
anestronase, LNase. We do.
Yeah, I said we
We
didn't
also
have
have enzymes
animal
in it.
enzymes. You're right, but they're just not animal enzymes. And I'm talking
Exactly.
about
That's why I say
so-called
in
black
the.
people. So then you wouldn't have chicken DNA or a chicken phenotype or nothing like that
Okay.
because you don't have
That
you're not producing animal proteins and enzymes. And a chicken is an animal. And it's an introgress animals at that.
but also people are animals.
No, we're not. These
We
people, we're not.
so you saying that black people are what did you say that? What did you say again? Repeat that last sentence.
Our
Cause
people don't have animal DNA.
who is your people?
Do you see me in the top left-hand corner of the screen on the live?
No, I can't see, sweetie pie. I surely do not.
Okay, I'm a so-called black woman. Our people across the globe don't naturally produce animal proteins and enzymes.
Sweetie pie, because I as a black man, that part of it, we still have enzymes. We do. Our
I said
enzymes are a
we
little
don't.
bit
I got you. I said we just don't produce animal proteins and enzymes. I never
right. I
said
got
we didn't. I got you, bro.
you. So yeah, I understand because my next question was, you're about to prove my point, but since you are black, you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that whole situation alone. I like the way you put that though. I do. I like the way you put that. Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, boy, get what the fuck, Vanessa. Using science, how you feel about the prompt?
Quick question. Can we only use science?
Yes.
So, like, do you believe in God or anything?
Only science. Only science. That's why I said
Oh,
only
okay.
science. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
then,
then.
then never
Mhm.
mind then. I'm gonna
Okay.
just go ahead and go. Good night.
Good night. Child, you look. You know what? Hey, Vanessa. For the hell of it, if you want to argue your religion with me, I'll do it for the sake of it. If you want, you still in here? I can send you an invite if you really want to do that with me. If you really want to go there, I can go there with you. I don't know if you're going to like it, but hey, if you still in here, request back up, but child, Jesus is the only one. Facts. Vanessa, if you still in here, you can request up, but I did say science. All right. So Sean Hassel, I don't know what you was on, my brother. I really don't. I don't know where you was going with what you was saying. Um, all I can tell you is to keep learning your biology, your anatomy, and your DNA. Um, because that whatever you just said was I don't know what you was saying. I'm gonna keep it a buck. To be real with you, I don't know. But yeah, y'all. If nothing else, I am about to leave for real. 3 hours, 10 minutes, and I will take some. Give me about probably like I think it's been taking me like 4 days to like edit and put sources on like a 4.5, 5 hour stream. So it might take me a little bit less, and I will put this on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? All
Lock in
right.
with your DNA, y'all.
Yeah.
Lock in with that DNA.
Facts.
Neuromelanin.
Facts. So they trying to say no. I'm trying to spend time with my man. He talking about no, don't go.
Your man, girl, go ahead on, girl. You better not neglect that man.
He talking about no. No, y'all need to do y'all live too, so that way we can pull up and we can see you talk about our DNA with our people too. But gratitude and abundance for everybody pulling up. You see what I'm saying? I really do value everybody's energy. I really do value our people. You see what I'm saying? Stop spreading division within our community, because if I see you do it, I'm gonna debunk you and block you. All right? I just blocked somebody today because they left my live and got on live to spread division. I won't allow it. I won't allow it, okay? So we gotta stop spreading division. Light wants to pass light to itself, so we can't be divided. If you want that dormant deoxyetheric acid unlocked, you gotta be in the sun. The sun don't separate unless you're unnatural. Then it is removing you from this planet. But the sun is bringing our people together. It's bringing us closer to nature. So you don't have a choice. If you don't do it, you have to recycle, and we gonna have to teach.